Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I am Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Oh, it's going all right. I feel like I've seen you like every day for like the last week on one stream or another. We were on two streams last Thursday, and then we're on stream together on Sunday, and that's all right. I like hanging out with you, Price. So
Yeah, no, it's good. At least we're on demand.
yeah, and perhaps another stream with Robot Head this Thursday. We shall see.
Yeah, there's a rumor. It would be
Rumor
nice.
going around.
Absolutely. But
Well,
yeah, no, it's fun hanging out, and yeah, I'm always happy if I'm on a stream and you're there, even if it's not the one that we're doing now. I'm always happy.
well, hey there, everybody in the chat. I'm seeing some of our usual friends out there. Caleb Levine, DJ Play Nice, Istaphobos, Tomahawk, Jonathan Conroy. Good to see you all
Yeah,
over on
great seeing you
Rumble.
all.
And Empress NM and Elizabeth Quince joining us over there. Good to see you all too.
Always
Oh
great to see
boy,
everybody.
it is. It has been both a busy week and a completely dead week. Like lots and lots to do, but it feels like hardly anything happening.
But there are little surprises.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say that there's nothing going on. I think that there's still interesting things going on.
Yeah, there's all of the Epstein files drama going on in Congress, and
Yeah,
there's all
I'm
the
kind of tired of all of that. I
oh,
know
so am I.
how terrible it sounds. I'm kind of, I understand that there's something there that's probably worth investigating, but at the same time, I just I don't know how to say this. I've said it before and I'll say it to you again. Everybody keeps getting shocked. They're like, "What?" Like it's the same thing that I tell you every time this thing comes up. When I heard, according to all these people that are talking, that there's a list supposedly, or there's people that would be implicated that are the most powerful people in the world with the most money, and they would be implicated in doing something bad. I told you that my instinct tells me that this thing won't see the light of day no matter what. And I think that it wouldn't see the light of day. Not, it doesn't matter if there's, Democrats there, Republicans there, or I don't know what. I think that there's things going on that possibly, if all of the information was uncovered, uh, would cause international incidents, things like that. I always tell you the same thing. We know of one person, and that person is like a member of the royal family. Imagine you bring another handful of people
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
you somehow tie them to this. What royal families do they potentially belong to? Who are they? Where I mean, this is I it annoys me because obviously this is all a bad thing, but this really highlights that there is sort of a strange elite. It reminds me. I always say this again of that Stanley Kubrick movie, that Eyes Wide Shut movie. That the first time I saw it, I'm like, man, this guy is like off his rocker, and he died while like he was like editing it, and he suddenly mysteriously, I don't want to say mysteriously, but he mysteriously died while he was editing it. When I saw it, I said to myself, man, this guy, what a crafty imagination he has. And today I kind of think of that movie and I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
maybe he knew something. Maybe there was some information that he knew about. But I guess what I'm saying is, usually these things don't turn out the way some people hope that they would, and that's the best way I can describe it. People can argue and bicker and do whatever, but I think that I don't know that this thing will ever be uncovered in a way that certain people will find satisfying. My personal opinion. It's not even. I don't even. I don't know what to say beyond that.
Well, I can tell you this much. This is a Professor R2 guarantee. If everything that the government has that's involved with the Epstein files was published tomorrow, no one would be satisfied with it. They're still going to bitch and complain that something is hidden, something is not shown. Oh, we didn't get what we wanted. It's not here. The stuff that we thought was here isn't here, and so the government's still hiding it from us, and so it's still going to keep going. That people are still going to be saying, "You didn't release the files. Release the files. You didn't really. Oh, you didn't really," because they're not going to get what they want.
Yeah.
Unless unless the Democrats get something in there that absolutely implicates Donald Trump in every single way and shows that he is, he's this, awful, PDF file that they've been claiming that he is and whatever. They're not going to be happy. They're going to say, "Oh, no, 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 we didn't get all the files. We didn't get it all." If there's not some, absolute, bombshell thing in there that implicates, uh, oh gosh, who are the different people? Bill Gates or Bill Clinton or whatever. There's not something in there, then they're going to say, "Oh no, no, they hid all the files. They hid them. It's not real." And blah blah blah, whatever. So it's never going to end. It is not going to matter. And the truth is that yes, probably going to get some of this stuff. It's going to be published. One, a lot of it's going to be redacted, and people are going to complain about that. Why is it redacted? Well, we can't expose the victims' names. We can't, you
That's
know
part of it, but I think that there's also other things going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Like I
surprised.
said, imagine that there's world leaders potentially, involved in something, and then at
Yeah,
that point, maybe you don't wanna release that information. It's really dark territory. It's not that I enjoy even thinking about any of this, but I'm trying to kind of separate any kind of emotion I have from it and try to understand what may or may not be, and I've said this to you before, that I think that there's a lot of layers to this thing, and some of it is maybe a little more, layered and complicated than what, people talk about in public, especially if you're trying to run a country and there's relationships with different nations and different things. There could be information here that but there's surely stuff that we're not privy to. Uh, the other thing, even recently, they started like releasing these emails. Or like, look at this email, look at this email. I looked at the emails. Most of these emails don't say much of anything to me. I mean, we're basically trying to get into the mind of a guy who seemed rather demented and is no longer alive, saying a bunch of stuff that a lot of times like is half a coded speak of what he's trying to do. I wouldn't be able to. I don't look at these emails and think to myself, okay, this is like the smoking gun.
yeah, yeah. There will not be a smoking gun in this, and then that's just gonna lead people to say, "No, we didn't get everything. It's not really there, and this has been faked, or this has been manipulated, or this has been whatever." And so, no matter what we do actually get released, people are gonna still
No, nobody's gonna be happy.
just
Nobody's gonna be
be
happy.
yeah, they're just gonna be crying and upset and furious that, "No, see, they're still covering up, Donald Trump is still covering for PDF files and whatever."
I
And
mean,
that
listen,
they're just gonna keep yelling stuff like
I
that.
think the bigger concern here is that when you hear about all the different people that went on his plane and on his island, and for years this guy was in the mix and in all these cocktail parties and events, and that part, you kind of wonder about what all of that means. But I don't know, it's above my pay grade. I am not like amongst that type of elite that gets invited to those islands.
No.
At best, I got a few invites here and there to these kind of, semi-exclusive cocktail parties, but they were never like eyes wide shut cocktail parties. The most I can tell you is I saw maybe like a celebrity that seemed under the influence or like something was wrong with them or things like that, but not to the extent of like an eyes wide shut situation.
No.
Like
Nothing like that for me either.
I probably
Never
told no, I
never
don't wanna say anything bad. I probably told you this once that, no, I shouldn't. Probably said it. Now I don't know if I should say it anymore because I feel bad.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's anything terrible, okay? I'm hesitant now. I don't know. What should I do, professor?
I don't know, Price.
Well, I'll tell you this, that one time, I was at a one of these kind of, like, cocktail parties, and Michael Shannon was there. Now, Michael Shannon is an
Huh.
actor that, I think he's a pretty good actor, so
He is. He's a
I
very talented actor.
have
Yeah.
seen him in a number of things, and I like him as an actor, and he was standing next to me, and I was, kind of happy, "Hey, it's Michael Shannon." And I think that I may have said, because he was just standing right next to me, I mean, really, just like the person right next to me standing there, and he was sort of looking in my direction, so I just said something like, "Hey, like, how's it going?" or something like that. And man, he seemed rather spooky, like, and the second I almost feel like either a handler or somebody quickly stepped in and kind of, I don't know what was going on with the guy at that moment. It wasn't me, nobody was angry at me, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like somebody wanted to kind of take him aside, or, you know, it seemed like a conversation wasn't going to develop there. If you
Yeah.
if
I mean, honestly, I mean, he always struck me as somebody who seems rather intense. I don't know if that's just, like, all the time or if that's just when he's
I don't
acting
know,
or
I don't
what,
know.
but, there's some people that are just sort of like that, they just sort of have an
It's always
intensity to them, but yeah, I don't know.
it's always been a mystery to me, like, why he was like that. Either he drank or maybe something else, but he seemed like he wasn't 100% there. And somebody else noticed that I think was maybe more connected with him, and the conversation that I was seemingly striking up was quickly, I don't know if somebody even said, "Oh, he's not feeling well," or something. Somebody came to, like, as if there was a fire, and somebody came to put that out, and they kind of whisk him away. That's all I know. Maybe he's just a very intense guy. I don't know, but that was a strange, strange situation.
Mhm.
In any case, so yeah, why did I talk about Michael Shannon being weird at a party? Oh, because I said that, that's probably one of the weirdest thing that I've seen. I'm thinking of
Mhm.
these parties. Uh, yeah, I assume that maybe if I went to these cocktail parties later, there were, like, more exclusive ones, like the Eyes Wide Shut ones that I wasn't invited to.
Yeah. So, let's see, what stuff did we have to talk about tonight? There was something I realized I saw Istafobos mentioned something here, mentioned Thomas Crooks. I thought we might wanna mention that briefly. I did read about that earlier today. Your did you see any of that stuff, Bryce?
Uh, yes, that he was a furry dude.
Yeah, so it seems that, he
He
had
can yeah, he
they have
has
found 17 different social media accounts for him, many of them, or so at least, multiple accounts, sounds like on YouTube. He was very prolific on YouTube, and, it seems like in his accounts earlier, before 2019-ish, he was kind of pro-Trump. And then somewhere in the 2019 to 2020 area, he became totally anti-Trump and also started using they them pronouns
yeah.
and also was identified as having an interest in furry culture. Yes. So, well, as some people pointed out, we made the connection between this attempted assassin and the person who killed Charlie Kirk. Uh, Trans assassins, furries.
Formers,
Yeah,
Transformers.
Transformers. Yes.
Uh,
Yikes. Okay. So yeah, that's ooh,
remember people. How do I explain this? We want to be friendly to all platforms, and some of them are
yes. Yes.
very. How do I explain it? Some of them are very tricky when it comes to certain terms these days.
Yes.
Apparently,
Yes.
again. So, yeah, I mean, I saw something like that today. None of that really surprises me. If I don't wanna just take all the people and paint them with the same brush, but I'll say that out of all the strange things that have popped up in, I don't know, the past 10 years, the they them thing has always seemed rather strange to me. Like, it was a level of strange. I know this, I'm gonna be like a terrible person because some people are probably very offended by this, but I think that I could even understand more a man that said like, "Oh, I'm a woman," or whatever it is, than like the thing of like, "No, I'm not gonna choose. Like, I don't even have to say what sex I'm they them." That is a strange thing. Uh, I don't know how to dance around this issue. I'm just saying that it's strange. And I
Well, yeah,
from the first day that somebody has introduced it, the way that I found out about it was actually Sam Smith. Sam Smith is that's the singer. There's a singer, Sam Smith, who sings one of the most
yes.
awful James Bond songs ever recorded. I think
He
he's
sings a lot of other awful stuff too, but
yes, no, he's awful. Like
that James Bond song is terrible.
his music is awful to begin with, but what happened was is that I remember sitting in the theater, and this is years ago. This was like I don't think the woke thing really officially started, although probably there were hints of it. And I don't know if I was watching Spectre or whatever, which movie he did the song for. And I sat in the theater, and he's sort of almost like weeping while singing the song, and I thought to myself, this is so fucking shitty. Sorry, Sean. That's what I thought when I sat in the theater. Like, I really got annoyed. I'm like, this is no way to start a James Bond movie. This man should not be singing a James Bond movie. It's one thing if you bring like a sensitive woman or a cool woman to sing it or whatever it is, but some man that's like weeping, that is not a person that should be singing a James Bond song. And it was a foreshadowing of exactly, of the fate of James Bond at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah, yeah, and it was Spectre, yeah, that was the Writing
Terrible.
on the Wall was the name of his song, it's awful.
Oh, it was so awful. He's
Oh,
like, and I sat there and I'm like, no fucking way. Sorry, Sean. And that's what I was saying to myself when I sat there. Like, I couldn't believe that that was the song they chose. I thought to myself, like, they could have chosen anybody and done anything. Like, why on earth would they choose him to sing this awful, awful song? Has to be one of the worst Bond songs ever. Sometimes people say that Aha had the worst Bond song ever, but I would unironically listen to that Aha song over that Sam Smith one. I think that Sam Smith, the only thing it can really compete with is maybe there's one. Is it Jack White with Alicia Keys or something? There's one that is so weird and feels out of place. Now, I'll say this: I don't think that Jack White is the worst musician. I've even, at one of those cocktail parties that I speak of sometimes, I met him, and to his credit, he actually seemed in a quirky way. Kind of, he seemed like a nice guy. I didn't get a bad vibe from the guy. Uh, but with that being said, as much as I don't hate the guy, the Bond song is awful. That
yeah,
Bond
yeah,
song with
that was Quantum of Solace, yeah, Another Way to
awful.
Die is the name of the song, yeah, it's terrible.
Tomahawk says, Uh, oh, they're not letting me do the thing. Hold on, tell
Oh,
some.
tell some jokes, yeah, so, yeah, some people talk it's funny, we've had a James Bond theme song conversation here before. It's been a while, but yeah, we've talked about James Bond theme songs before.
Now I
Uh,
lost the thing. Now I lost
Now you
the
lost. That's okay. I think
go
your
back.
six Tom 511 said, "Aha" has the best one.
You
That's
know
the best.
what? Aha have a really good singer. Like that guy Morton Harkett or whatever his name is. That guy knows how to sing. I won't say I think that they're in their home country. They're bigger than they were in other places. To other places, they were somewhat of like a one hit wonder with "Take on Me, Take Me On." But you know what? As
Mhm.
cheesy as you can say the '80s is and the song is and whatever it is, that song is genuinely a well crafted song. It may not be for everybody, but "Take on Me" is not a bad song, and the guy that sings it, like the lead singer, that is a guy that knows how to sing. And when it came to the
Oh,
Living
yeah.
Daylights, what'd you say?
I said, "Oh, yeah, no, excellent singer.
So
Amazing
when
voice."
when it came to the Living Daylights, I feel like it's an unfortunate situation that they didn't quite. It's sometimes you have a situation that you don't quite understand the assignment. It just somehow didn't 100% work. I think that at the time they were also trying to work either with John Barry or whoever it was. They were trying to make it kind of a Bond type of song and him singing on it. Maybe with a different producer involved, maybe there was a way to make that song in a way that sounded better, but somehow when you just listen to it, it's kind of underwhelming. But with all of that being said, better than Sam Smith, better than Jack White and Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, people are saying about A View to a Kill. A View to a Kill is surprisingly good. Uh, they did understand the assignment. You could say whatever you want. Duran Duran understood the assignment. That song works 100% with that movie. Yeah, it has, because of the year it was made, a bit of that 80s flavor sound or whatever it is. But I feel like Duran Duran went all in on it, and I don't think it's a bad song. When I think of kind of standout Bond songs, it may not be at the top of the list for me, but it's not a bad one. There's certainly
Mhm.
some. I think of Goldfinger as like a highlight.
Oh,
I think that
absolutely.
Goldfinger is a really, really good song. Uh, I like the Chris Cornell one, which I don't know. That one may be controversial. I don't know if everybody likes the Chris Cornell one. See, Chris Cornell, unfortunately, though, I feel like he opened the door to some of the other lesser ones that we got later, because they tried that out for Casino Royale. I thought that he did a great job. Like,
Mhm.
Chris Cornell, underrated. If there's ever like an underrated Bond song, I think Chris Cornell did fantastic with Casino Royale. But then they're like, oh, this is so cool. Let's bring more interesting people to do the songs. But where Chris Cornell was able to deliver, some of those other people just weren't. And
Yeah.
surprisingly, in more recent years, I think that Adele did a decent song. It's not like I sit around and listen to Adele all day. Like, I actually the opposite of that. I have, no. There's nothing personal against her. She knows how to sing. It's just not my style. But you know what? For James Bond, Skyfall, I thought that she did like a traditional classic James Bond song. It sounded fine. I don't know if it's the best James Bond song, but I didn't hear it and think to myself, "What a disaster." Oh, Billie Eilish was also crappy.
What's new about that?
Billie Eilish could have been a halfway decent song, but, like, the thing that she mumbles her way through it, I just can't stand that. It just people are like, "No, you don't understand. That's, like, the modern thing that you mumble through the song." I don't give a shit. You know what? You wanna be a Gen Z, you think you're hip, that you're listening to some person that sounds like they're, like, farting into the microphone. You could do that if you want. At the end, and it's like, no, you're not cool. They're no, I am cool. They are not cool. See, in the past, I don't know how I'm going. I know I'm straying from our topic, which we'll get to in a second. Uh, but I will say this: back in the day, we used to see like an older generation and we thought to themselves, we're more edgy, we're cooler, we're the next generation. Now something else has happened. The next generation has ended up being like a bunch of, I don't know if to say, like, soft and annoying, and you know what I'm trying to say. Like, they're
Mhm.
not the edgy cool ones, they're lame, we're the cool ones. Like, we should be feeling that we're not cool anymore because they're so cool, but instead what I feel is that they're not cool and we're cool. In layman's terms, do you understand what
Mhm.
I'm saying, Professor?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So,
Uh, yeah. No, there were a bunch of great Bond themes. Obviously, I love the all three that were done by Shirley Bassey. Fantastic. And then yeah, so someone mentioned GoldenEye too. Yes, Tina Turner performing
GoldenEye was good.
GoldenEye, which was written by Bono and the Edge,
You know what? It's
which is the
probably
crazy thing. Like I'm
a
like, what?
amongst
It's
amongst
written
the
by
better
you
thing
two.
that Bono and the Edge did was write
Yeah.
that song. I actually think that they did, very decently with that. Uh, Tina Turner, it's interesting. I think that, if you had a really good musician, in this case, they did above and beyond what I expected them to. But I'm saying, like, Mark Knopfler gave her Private Dancer, if I'm not mistaken. She does wonderful with that song.
Mhm.
So, Like Private Dancer is actually, if you look at it, it's a very kind of interesting song and it's very well composed. Mark Knopfler is no idiot when it comes to composing music, and I feel like, Tina Turner really brought it to life. So she was that type of singer that if you give her a good song, she can actually elevate it. She can do something interesting with it. And with Bono on the Edge, I, listen, you two may not be the best band that ever lived or the best band in the world or whatever you want to call it, but I think that they're serviceable enough when it comes to having their sound, having their songs. They're able to, these days not so much. They're just kind of rehashing for the past 20, 30 years. They've been rehashing the same song. But when I think of like the 80s and maybe early to mid 90s, I thought that they had some interesting ideas here and there. I can't dismiss everything that they've done, and or their song that they gave Tina Turner, one of the highlights of their career,
Mm,
in my opinion. And
yeah.
and also as an anecdote, in two separate occasions, uh, both Bono and The Edge were douches to me on two separate occasions. Like it wasn't even coordinated. I once met Bono and he was a douche, and separately, in a whole different time period, I met The Edge, same thing. I don't know, maybe like you're as part of like a U2, maybe there's a certain code you have to live by. like like if you're part of that band, you got to be a douche.
You must treat other people like filth.
Yes.
You must be a dick if you're going to be in U2.
Caleb Levine, U2 is a giant pile of poo. When I think of albums like, let's say, Rattle and Hum and maybe Achtung Baby, I think that those were
Yeah,
albums that they did
Joshua
some.
Tree, all of
Joshua Tree.
those are good. All of those earlier albums, really solid.
Those 3 albums that we just said, Joshua Tree, Rattle and Hum, and Achtung Baby,
Yeah,
those are probably like peak, U2. That
yeah,
if you take
absolutely.
away all the stuff before and after, and you just heard those 3 albums, I think it's fair to say that these guys, like, are if nothing else a decent band during this time. There are some genuinely, good songs amongst those albums, but I think that since maybe the year two, since I've told you this before, since the song Beautiful Day, they've been like, they've been making the song Beautiful Day over and over again since the song Beautiful Day. They made it once. It was sort of just kind of like a rehash of all of their previous ideas into one more palatable and cheesy song. It made a lot of money for them. And then that's it. They just said, let's just keep recording the same song over and over again. And as far as I know, they've been recording that same song for like 20, 30 years since. But yeah, that happens. Aerosmith did that too. Aerosmith recorded like one of those, with Alicia Silverstone. I'm crazy, not crazy. What's the other one? I don't want to miss you when you miss you. Whatever. They recorded one of those shitty songs, those like ballads, and
Yeah.
then all the ladies suddenly bought the records and whatever, and then they're like, okay, yeah, let's just do this all the time. That's why it's all like a blur to me. Like from a certain moment in time, every Aerosmith song is the same crappy song.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the one from
Pretty
Armageddon and Crazy, in my mind, they're like the same song. It's like they continue each other. I don't even
yeah.
know. It could be the same song. It's like the
They
same.
have the same notes, same chord progressions. Yeah, it's the same.
It's the same shit. Yeah, it's like it's completely.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
uh,
Empress and him don't wanna miss a thing. Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to miss the
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, they're
It's
all the
all.
same song.
I feel like I'm missing. There's another one, but you understand that at some point they just all sounded like the same thing. They never did anything good after that. Jason Webster, Tina Turner had a powerful voice and stage presence. She was a genuine article. You could see she generally loved performing. Yeah, she's like an OG, and she knew how to do a lot of different styles, and she had a lot of character. Like, you know, uh, I think that that's what's largely missing from artists today is that they usually don't have character. They just they sound like they're kind of there. They don't bring that kind of extra character to the table. Part of it is also because how production has become so annoying and overproduced and just everything sounds so processed and so artificial that by the time the AI came around, like those kind of Sunos, and they do AI, you can barely tell the difference between an AI singer and a regular one, especially a new one, because the new ones have no character and the AI has the same non-character. So in some cases, the AI is studying older artists, so it actually has more character than the new artists. As weird as that sounds.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
A
I mean,
lot of these
they're
newer artists, they have no real personality. No, there's nothing about them that feels special or unique. It feels like it's all written by the same people for the exact same audience. It has the same chords and the same notes and the same, like, it's all the same. And it's just like, "Oh, do you like this one or do you like that one?" They're they're all the same, but yeah, it's
and
like Taylor Swift. I'm sorry, I don't know why people like Taylor Swift. I don't
she
care.
sounds like the AI. She sounds like the AI.
She
There's
she
nothing
is, yeah,
nothing unique about her in my opinion. She just
yeah,
she's the very definition of like watered down bubblegum music, completely just it's there's nothing that she does that leaves any kind of impression on me. That's why when I see that they're like, "Do you know that she's broken the Beatles records for having the most amount of Grammys?" I'm like, "Come on. You can give her another 50 Grammys. Doesn't make a difference to me." Like they also do that with Beyonce. They're like, "Do you know she got another 50 Grammys?" I'm like, "Listen, she's all right. I mean, she's fine. She's not a bad musician, Beyonce. I maybe even a bit better than, or I don't know what to say, a bit better, but like has a little more character than Taylor Swift. But in both of their cases, I wouldn't give them like the world record breaking amount of Grammys. I
yeah,
understand why Stevie Wonder broke records with Grammys. I understand why Michael Jackson did. I understand why like the Beatles have like a million awards. I don't understand,
yeah.
then to add to that same sentence like Taylor Swift and even Beyonce, I don't think that they rank among those that type of caliber of talent. That's my personal opinion, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Well, once upon a time, music was actually art. There was actually creators out there pouring their soul into the lyrics that they wrote and the music that they wrote, and not that that doesn't still happen, but those types of artists don't get contracts now. That's not what that's not what sells.
No,
Now,
most of the
what
artists that
sells is
yeah.
is this poppy, generic, samey, "Oh, look, it's the it's another, cute young something that we can put on the cover of whatever, and, oh, look, she can kind of sing. We can produce her voice in a studio so that she sounds okay." Like, it's just, and it's the same thing, just over and over again. Same
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's all very true and unfortunate. But it
Eh,
is what it is.
yep.
Speaking of artists that can't sing well, do you know that Trump met with the Prince of Saudi Arabia at the White House today?
Yes, I did see something about him meeting, with the Saudi prince, yes.
Let me see for a second if there's any kind of video. There was something that he's like, oh, and like he's like he said he was gonna do 600 million, but now I want him to do a trillion. He's like, yes, yes, we'll do a trillion. I
We'll
mean, I
do
don't
it
know if
for you,
I can even take this
whatever,
serious. I don't even know if I can take any of this seriously. Are they really gonna do any of this?
no idea. Yeah,
I mean, it
that's
sounds good as sound bites and stuff, but
yeah, sounds good. It all sounds good, but,
here, this is the
it's
thing. It's fine. It doesn't bother me that he says he wants to invest money, but I guess how do I need to choose my words carefully here. Let me let me share this screen. Let's see if you can hear it. Did I share it or a
yeah, it's
presentation?
shared.
Okay.
So your work for the world peace. I believe, Mr. President, today and tomorrow we're going to announce that we are going to increase that 600 billion to almost $1 trillion of investment, real investment, and real opportunity by details in many areas. and the agreement that we are signing today in many areas in technology, in AI, in earth materials, magnet, etc. That will create a lot of investment opportunities.
So you are doing that now. You're saying to me now that the 600 billion will be 1 trillion.
Definitely, because what we are signing it will facilitate that, and
I like that very much. Go ahead.
So your work for the world peace, I believe, Mr.
Okay.
President, in the
Yeah.
So listen, on the surface, there's nothing. I'm not like, I'm not one of those people that has like meltdowns. It's not like necessarily a bad thing. But, I, I on one hand, people bring money, but on the other hand, they maybe expect something. Also, now I think that the U.S. is giving them a lot of military equipment and things like that. I hope that's okay. I don't really.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
is that okay? Like I'm not saying it's not okay. I'm just saying that maybe there's a reason for it, but
Yeah.
you always have to
Uh,
be careful with stuff like this.
yeah, it's such a strange situation, the relationship that we have with Saudi Arabia. Uh, they are absolutely, at least have been in recent years, sort of a stabilizing force in that area. They have been in some ways much more pro-Western than a lot of other countries in the Middle East. At the same time, they still have very regressive, policies in their country that would don't really fly with a lot of people in the West. They still have to deal with the fact that we have MBS Mohammed bin Salman there who has had uh, we know journalists killed for their
Allegedly,
coverage
allegedly.
oh, no, we know it. We
I,
absolutely know that it happened.
I'm
Uh,
saying that because we're on certain
but
platforms,
yes,
I
yes,
assume that that's what happened, but who
y
knows, Professor?
yes. Okay, well, in Minecraft, he made sure that certain journalists did not
This
stand back up
vanished off
after
the
they
face of
were
the earth. Yes.
knocked down. Yeah. So yeah, it's very it's awkward because yes, they uh uh, in some ways they have been very good partners for the US. In other ways, not so much. So yeah, to say they're going to give us like $1 trillion and we're going to let them have our most technologically advanced fighter jets, or it's let them have. Well, they're going to buy them, but uh it's yeah. It is a the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of a situation. But yeah, it's just so weird. It's so strange to talk about like, yeah, we're gonna have this really tight partnership with this group that sometimes has not had our best interest at heart. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that I understand that sometimes when it comes to world politics and relationships with other countries, things are complicated with that as well sometimes. So it's not that I don't understand that. I'm just saying that I hope that we also are taking whatever precautions, whatever we can, and I hope people are thinking about all the different angles of this. Yeah, on the surface, I understand that there are people that sort of we can work with, but at the same time, I can only hope that it's all going to be okay. I just want to also, somebody had a comment here that I found was interesting. I don't know why I want to address it, but hold on. Okay. Jason Webster said, this is off topic completely. How come I can't highlight this? Okay. I can listen to Adele. I can't listen to Taylor Swift. And I'll tell you this. Adele has a certain character in her voice that does have value. I won't say that I'll listen to Adele all day. It's not like I sit around listening to her all day. But if you were, I don't know if to say forcing me. That doesn't sound very nice. But if I was sitting with people and somebody put on a Taylor Swift song, I think I would get like somewhat annoyed. Whereas if somebody put like some Adele thing in the background, it may not be something that I would listen to in my spare time, but it's also it's not like offensive or anything. It's just she has some character. It's a certain style. It's don't really listen to it in my spare time. Can't say that she has a terrible voice. She has some character. She has some personality in her voice. So yeah, I kind of, at least when it comes to her performance, kind of rate her more than Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift sounds just like a bubblegum machine of music.
Mhm.
It's just I've heard so many songs of hers over the years, and some of them are even hits that if you play them, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's that annoying song." But if you now tell me to start like singing her songs or whatever, they're so forgettable. They sound so similar to each other, and they're so forgettable, and just the very definition of vanilla is Taylor Swift songs.
Yeah.
But back to the Saudi Arabians.
Or not,
So
I don't care.
yeah, Stephen Mack says she can sing, but her songs suck. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that if you brought me these days, I don't know, with the AI, you probably don't even need me anymore. But if let's say you said, "Hey, Adele needs to record a song," and you let me work with her and create a song for her to sing, I can do something that'll sound pretty decent. We can find a good song for her. You know, the same thing I would say also with Rihanna. Rihanna has an interesting character in her voice. Most of her songs, though, don't reflect the type of voice that she has. They're very, very kind of poppy. I can't argue she sold a lot of albums, but if I actually did something with her and I could write a song, the song whatever she would do would actually probably be good. Same thing I can say. Well, you know what? She's a little more talented than these. Like Lady Gaga has talent. She just comes off as kind of annoying. But and again, I don't sit around and listen to her music. Even with Lady Gaga, I feel like if I could sit with her, all these ladies need to have a meeting with me so I can explain to them how like to make their songs not as annoying. Uh, yeah. Anyhow, the Saudi Arabians. What do you think, Professor?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's so complicated. I I genuinely think they have been, in many cases, an ally in the region there, that having a strategic alliance with them in some way is good. We have other allies in the region as well that I think we also need to maintain good relationships with. Uh, uh, so it's interesting that we continue to we kind of go back and forth with them. Like our relationship is good, and then our relationship sucks. And like I said, like just culturally, like they seem open to a lot of Western things, but then inside their actual country, it's still very much, not a Western country, not with Western values. So it's so weird, man. It's just such a complicated mess, geopolitically, and uh, I don't know. I think I would say overall, I think probably our relationship with them, our working closely with them is a good thing, but, uh, how much we should actually
Right, right. We should
them
still, you know,
how much you should actually trust them and their motives and stuff, also probably a good idea. You know, what was it? It was, Reagan that said, "Trust but verify." Was
something
like
like that. By the way, I want to
sort of
answer
get
the
along with them, trust them, but at the same time, like, maybe, um
I want to answer this
yeah.
comment. Darth Scipio. Hey, Price of Reason Live. What's up with you and Thomas Connors? Let's bygones be bygones. There's nothing to bygone or be bygone. I respect Tom. We've done a lot of streams together. You know, I think that people for a long time they saw me on Midnight's Edge After Dark. I just the best thing I can explain to people is it was a big commitment for me. I did it for a long time and supported what they were doing over there. They're a good group of people. I don't I'm cool with everybody. There's nothing to bygone or be bygone. It's just that I did this for a long time, And the more I was doing, also not only that, but sometimes I was more frequently on a lot of other streams. There were ones that I would show up every week for and do all this stuff. And one day, I first of all had some stuff going on that I had less time to do as many streams. And those streams specifically, came at times that weren't always convenient for me. Certainly when I come to, to commit to something so frequently. So there were other streams that I would do every week, and now I'm only there once in a while when I can. Like I said, those days and times are not so convenient for me. At the same time, also, I wanted to focus more in the time that I had to do more videos and things like that. Sometimes you get swept up in all of these streams and you find yourself not putting enough time into your own videos. And as much as I really enjoy being a guest in different places and helping people out, I just also want to make sure that I'm doing stuff that I'm that I'm sort of expressing myself in my own things, and sort of trying to build something. So these were some decisions I made. There is no, there's no beef or anything like that. Uh, I from time to time, maybe will react to something, maybe a tweet of Tom. He's reacted to tweets of mine. We've also DM'd privately. It's not. There's nothing. You know. There's nothing bad, and I have good relationships with people, and I wish everybody the best, and that's hopefully that could put it to rest. I also answered it because it's not the first time that people have asked me, so I just wanted to explain it. But at the end of the day, I like everybody and everything's great, and I always appreciate people that hang out with us here. I always appreciate that, and I try to sort of be as open and upfront as I can. Price should always make him. Price should also make amends with Sean. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
What were you
Yeah.
laughing at?
You have a super chat, sir,
Oh, okay.
over on YouTube. And
Uh-huh.
it's very clever, Dead Man. I'm gonna give you props
Okay, hold on one
for
second.
very, very clever super chat.
Okay, let me share it. 1 second. I'm trying to share it. Stop share screen. Share. I'm really on top of the technology as usual. Price, I think you need a vacation when it comes to releasing the Epstein files. Dream on. I know it's crazy, but it's also amazing. You should just keep living on the edge. Ah, okay, that's the Aerosmith song.
There's multiple Aerosmith songs.
Okay. So, Dream On. Okay, first of all, Dream On is an old song. That's actually decent, Aerosmith. That's actually a decent song, Dream On. Have no issue with Dream On. That's one of their better songs. Crazy is one of those annoying ones. I won't lie to you. That's one of the problem. Amazing, is that another one? Crazy, but it's amazing.
Uh,
Amazing.
I know. Is it Permanent Vacation? I think it's one of their songs.
Ah, I see.
Uh,
I see.
and then, but he didn't say you need a permanent vacation. uh,
I am very cool with Vex Electronica, and I'm really happy that she actually is listening to the stream. I thought for a while that she doesn't even listen to us anymore.
yeah,
Vex has become very busy,
yes.
too busy, but too busy for me. But it's okay. It's okay. I still really like Vex. She's a
Yeah.
interesting person.
And then, yes, Amazing is also, yes, one of their songs.
So, yeah, out of all the songs you said, I think Dream On is actually decent. Living on the Edge, out of the newer ones, is one of the more, halfway decent ones out of that group of ones that started becoming really annoying, because it was at least a little bit more upbeat. I think that they made it for a movie, for like Pet Cemetery 2 or something like that. And maybe it had Edward Furlong in it. I don't know. I could be wrong, Professor. You could Google that. Did Pet Cemetery 2 have Edward Furlong in it?
Oh,
And
I
not
don't
only
know.
did
I've
it have
never
Edward
seen Pet
Furlong,
Cemetery 2.
I've never seen it either, but I think in the video, Edward Furlong, the guy from Terminator 2, was in it, and then they would, they played this song.
Hmm.
It's not the worst song. Out of like I said, there's something about it that they do some guitar work there, and it's like
Yes.
there's a few things.
Edward Furlong plays the lead character, Jeff Matthews, in Pet Cemetery 2. Yes.
And the song is this. This is the song. The main song of the movie is "Living on the Edge," correct?
I don't know.
At least I want to see
Like I
that
said, I've
I
never
didn't lose
seen
my
this.
touch.
I've never seen Pet Cemetery 2.
Nobody's seen it,
I've
but
only
just
seen the
know
original Pet Cemetery once.
nobody has seen the second movie. I just want to know if the song is "Living on the Edge," and it's Aerosmith, and it's from that stupid movie with Edward Furlong. Living on the
Hmm.
edge. Like, there's one thing that they do in this song that I don't mind, that they switch
No?
sort of from major to minor in a way that I kind of enjoy. So, not a complete disaster.
I'm not seeing
And
anything with Living on the Edge in tied to Pet Cemetery 2. Let me see.
okay, now this annoys me. Living on the edge, Pet Cemetery. I could be wrong, and they would just had Edward Furlong in a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, I guess I made a mistake, Professor. A rare mistake. Was at least Edward
Let's
Furlong in the video?
see.
Living on the Edge, Edward Furlong. Okay, I got it now. The song came out around the time of Pet Cemetery 2, and Edward
Uh-huh.
Furlong is in it. So I think in my mind I connected between Edward Furlong, Pet Cemetery 2, and the song, when in fact he was just in the video and separately in that movie.
He was it. Yeah, he was in the video. So yeah,
Okay.
I was looking for to see if Living on the Edge was ever in a movie soundtrack. There's a couple of things where it appeared in films, but none of them were like major appearances. They were just like part of in some part of the movie, but it does mention the music video had many cinematic elements and included various actors, including Edward Furlong. So
Right. Okay. So, Living on the Edge had a crazy video where Steve Tyler was standing naked and singing. Never seen that before. What I will say is that the first movie did have "I Don't Want to Be Buried in a Pet Cemetery," which was a Ramones song. I actually quite liked that song. I think that the Ramones did a decent job with it. I wish the movie was better than it was, because I remember always being disappointed with that Pet Cemetery movie. But I did like the song, for whatever that's worth. And it's one that I believe that Dee Dee Ramone wrote that song, and I think he actually, did did uh, did some fine work there. It was actually shortly before he ended up leaving the band to become a rapper, which is very
okay,
odd and very
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
unprecedented in those days. Uh, the thing is, he was a very creative guy, and the idea of him thinking that rap was going to be popular and things like that, he actually wasn't wrong about that. I just don't know if he rightfully understood his position within the rap world. Like, I don't know if he needed to be a rapper, but him saying that like rap is gaining traction or whatever it was, he wasn't wrong on that.
no,
But yeah, I think that I think he called himself like DD King or something like that. Uh, I don't know. The guy, he did a lot of recreational activities, if you know what I mean, and unfortunately also ended up at the end
oh,
mine. Is it Minecraft? What is it?
yeah, Minecrafting himself, yeah,
I mean, he didn't do it on purpose, but there was
yeah,
an accidental over Minecrafting of himself.
yeah,
He Minecrafted too
yeah.
much.
Yes, he flew too close to the heroine sun or something like that. I don't know. Uh, We don't have Robot Head on here. We can't talk about gruesome deaths of music. Music
No, only when
personalities.
Robot Head is here. So he liked Rugi's Vex Electronica.
Who
First of
doesn't?
all, I actually think that wouldn't surprise me if he did like that. He was considered kind of an out there guy. He's very, very eccentric and sure did a lot of strange things. And again, I mean, he was known to be a very kind of eccentric and guy that did a lot of strange things. That's the best I can say in this PG version here. Yeah, I think he did more than that, Tim Hayes. I think there was more than that guy did.
That's the gateway drug.
Yeah, that's not anything actually, but yeah, that's anyhow, I don't know how we got to talking about all of that, but back to it's funny because the thing with the Saudi Arabians, it ties into something else that's happening that's so bizarre. Uh, Basically, over the past maybe few days, there's more and more conversations about the Saudis actually potentially being involved in some type of deal to buy Warner Brothers. Now,
Yes. Now I have seen some of that. Yeah.
now initially, I know people don't generally appreciate my wonderful coverage of all this stuff, but initially, uh, this article came out a few days ago, and it was basically heavily relied on this guy called Producer Patrick. Have you ever heard of this Producer Patrick guy?
Actually, I think I have.
The thing is, I'm sure he does a good job, but when I watched his videos, he made me chuckle a bit, and I don't know why. Probably unintentionally. I think he was unintentionally funny in a few parts. I respect the work that he does, but I don't know. On the one hand, I kind of empathize with him because he was talking about how people are using his information and not giving him credit, and that actually happens to me. And when it comes to this kind of not so much the Warner Brothers, although some of that also. A lot of the stuff that I was saying about Superman, everybody later said it, and nobody really credited me. For anything that I did. But somehow when I saw him talking about it, I now feel maybe that's why people get annoyed when I say that nobody credits me. Because now, like, I saw this guy, I'm like, I said, I hope I'm not like him, even though he does good work, but I should probably stop talking. In any case, let me share this. Did you see this video of this guy talking?
I don't think so.
Again, I don't have anything against this guy, okay? This all started not started, I mean, there was something Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, and Saudi set to bring back the Snyderverse. That was on Cosmic Book News. They've been doing some good reporting. Again, there were things that I absolutely, was early to the party on reporting. Again, I don't get credit. I'm like this guy now. I don't always get credit for it. But after seeing this guy, maybe I'll say that less now.
Saudi Arabia is on the verge of purchasing Warner Brothers. I posted this about 24 hours ago. What's interesting is to see the internet doing its internet thing, and so many people have taken this information and have run with it. Outlets are now presenting this as their own, but the source is right here. Kind of humorous because I've actually been reporting on this since October 16th. That's when I first heard that there may be a $70 billion deal from Saudi Arabia to purchase Warner Brothers. Now, I do have sources in Saudi Arabia who are now telling me that the deal is about one signature away from being complete. And these sources are pretty solid media sources, and they're sources that I am trusting. Now, of course, this could all blow up in my face, and I could be eating the biggest meal of dead crow of my life if it's wrong. But I am trusting my gut right now. I am trusting my sources, so I am going all in on this is what's happening. The one information I don't have is whether Comcast is also involved with this deal, whether Comcast would be picking up some of the additional elements of Warner Brothers like HBO Max. That's still the mystery right now. But from what I understand, Paramount has made multiple bids at about $60 billion, and the Saudi fund is estimated to be $1 trillion. And as a person who was in Saudi Arabia just 3 weeks ago, you've seen the evidence now showing that this country is going all in on media. They bought EA Sports. It's on LIV Golf. Now, of course, what's really interesting is so far, none of the traditional Hollywood news outlets have reported on any of this. They've been circling the Paramount story with the Ellison family trying to purchase Warner Brothers. They've been reporting on Netflix trying to get their name in the game. But from what I understand, the deal is almost done. And David Zaslav did mention that by December, they will announce who is going to be the owner. So right now, everything is tracking on point on the timeline, and we will see who the owner is that's going to emerge. So you know who the source was and where the information was coming from. Producer Patrick on the scene.
I don't know if that kind of was funny at the end.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know if he intended it to be funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, yes, I complain that people don't give me credit, but the thing like with on the scene, I thought maybe that was a step too far. Like I watched it and I'm like, no, don't do it, dude, don't do it. And he's like on the scene, and I'm like, oh, like it felt like Ron Burgundy or something. like, dude, dial it back a bit. And then since then,
Who put that on the teleprompter?
Since I've seen this, I keep telling myself, don't do that. Like, make sure not to do that. So I'm more cautious now after that whole situation. But the reason why I showed it is after this, I did a video, and I tried. Sometimes when I see this stuff, I try to put things in a little bit of perspective. And I said a few things. I said, first of all, Paramount. I don't think it's time to write Paramount off. You don't know what they're doing, what they're not doing. Comcast, I already saw articles much before this guy was even speaking that their CEO went to Saudi Arabia, supposedly for a convention of sorts, but may have had some meetings there. Then I also read separately, and again, they're all playing coy. What's his face? The Ellisons were in Saudi Arabia. So it's like, yeah, why are these all these guys? Yeah, they could just be vacationing or whatever it is. There could be another reason why they're in Saudi Arabia. So I was saying, I wouldn't count the Ellisons out. You know, we don't know what they're doing or not doing. Maybe they've talking to these Saudis. I also explained that, in my opinion, even if the Saudis want to, let's say, buy Warner Brothers, and this is just my personal opinion, it would probably be easier for them if they were sort of financial investors, and whereas there's an American company that's sort of the one that's actually in the driver's seat, meaning if it's Comcast is the one that's like, you know, the American company that gets approved and all that. Maybe they back them financially, or they come on board as some sort of financial partner. I said also in a video that I did, they could also join like the Ellisons. I said, we don't know. The Ellisons went to Saudi Arabia. They can also be involved. Like, I wouldn't write them off. And then what happened is that let's see if I can find this.
Yeah, somebody was as Empress M over on Rumble was asking, was it the UAE that recently bought? Was it Ubisoft? And no, that was that was the Saudis. In fact, he mentioned it real briefly in that video. The Saudis sovereign wealth fund, whatever private investment thing that they have set aside. Oh yeah, I had that story up. I was gonna share that.
So when
the thing that anyway, I'll finish what I was saying. The Saudis bought EA, EA Games. It was a $55 billion deal. It was huge. So yeah.
Right. So I don't want to do the thing of like producer price on the scene. I don't want to do that. But basically, like, I said all of this in a video, and then, you know, maybe a day or two later, suddenly there's an article in Variety, and then all those other people, like the Cosmic Book News and all these other people are going back. And even I think this producer Patrick, when he's like, see, I told you. It's like, yeah, I actually am the one that I kind of clarified what was going on here. But whatever, it's fine. I guess what happens is that when there's news developing and people are reporting on it, and I can understand the feeling, it's not a fun feeling when you're sort of shedding light on something pretty much before anybody else, and then everybody pretends you didn't do that and doesn't want to give you credit. I can empathize. I can feel I can understand why that would be an annoying feeling. But with all that being said, I will not do the price on the scene. If you're wondering where it came from, producer price on the scene. I can't even deliver it like this guy. This guy gave like a delivery that like I don't know. I can't explain it to you. It was a very specific delivery. I can't even emulate it. I don't know. Am I a terrible person that it amused me, Professor?
No.
Could you tell why I found it amusing, or you don't understand?
No, I get it. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
It's funny. So now basically we don't know. They could be Paramount could be getting additional money from Saudi Arabia who could be investors. It could be Comcast. I know that Trump has a better relationship with the Ellisons and Paramount. I am thinking to myself that if somehow Paramount is like the spearhead of the deal, whereas the Saudi Arabians are investing some money, I think that that may have a chance of going through. When it comes to Trump, I don't think that Trump in that situation would torpedo it personally. I
No,
mean,
no.
now personally, I think that Warner Brothers is a very American company. And this is just my own personal opinion, may not be like the most excited that, a foreign entity sort of takes it over, just in general, just because it's such an American entity. But my personal sentiments aside, just if I zoom out and look at it as a cold, calculated business, situation, I could see this thing if they teamed up to somehow go through. I could see it happening. And what's now being said more and more, and you know, I kind of dismiss this. This is chatter has been going on probably for the last month since there were rumors of the Saudis even being involved. We kept hearing that they have a good relationship with Zack Snyder, and that if they come on board and they do this, they'll want to see like James Gunn's universe, DC universe disappear, and they'd want to bring back Zack Snyder. I was very cautious about for a long time, and I still am. I still tell people, so many things could happen. We first of all don't know who's going to end up buying Warner Brothers, how this deal gets approved, who's involved. It's so early to make these kind of declarations. But I will say that the more time goes by, the more I feel like, it's so bizarre if such a thing would happen, but I don't think it's completely impossible. I think that if Paramount, together with the Saudis, take over Warner Brothers, I think that if nothing else, James Gunn's time could be limited. He has a contract that ends in 2026, and all anybody has to do is not to renew it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's all they have to do.
they don't have to go in and even do like gunslinging, like gunslinging. That's like a no pun intended. Everybody seems to think that like they'll come in there like that thing with Ari Gold on Entourage, and they're all gonna like fire him, and he's gonna be humiliated in public. I don't think anything like that at all. By the time this deal goes through, it gets approved, this and that, a few months. They're already in 2026 by the time that they take over, whatever it is, and they're in 2026. His contract ends in sometime in late 2026. So the smart thing is, you don't even want to breach it. He's working on his projects. You just tell him, listen, finish your few things that you're doing. Don't do anything new. Your contract is going to end, and then you'll just go on your way. And we'll do a nice cake for you. We'll sing for "He's a Jolly Good Fellow" as you exit the building, and that's it. And they don't have to do anything. They can literally do nothing. If these guys buy it, or whoever it is that buys it, they could literally do nothing. And honestly, even Warner Brothers themselves can do that. Even David Zaslav, he could just sit there and do nothing. And then James Gunn, the clock runs out and he's out. I do tend to think that his time is limited. Unless it's like Apple that buys it, or something like that we're not thinking of, that suddenly came last minute and like completely changed this whole situation, and they love what he's doing. I think that between the more conservative politics or right-leaning politics of the Ellisons, and I don't think that Saudi Arabia would be like extremely excited about like Peacemaker and his parties. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I don't think they would be
The
particularly happy with
combination of
that.
the Ellisons and the
Yeah.
Saudis, they basically sitting around and watching Peacemaker. I feel like that's the end. They're like, they put like a few episodes of Peacemaker, and they're like, call this guy to our office. Maybe they will fire him publicly, but you know what I'm trying to say. No, but then in another thing, and not to be producer Patrick, I actually said in a video when there was a lot of talk and all these kind of more independent media and YouTubers and things like that, I said that I don't think that there would be a situation where James Gunn, they're just going to walk into the office and on that day immediately fire him. Stranger things have happened. I'm not saying it's impossible. Anything is possible. I just don't think that's the most likely scenario. I think that usually when there's a business, forget about entertainment and stuff like that. A lot of time there's the business. If you do that, it sends a certain signal in Hollywood. Don't forget these Ellisons are probably not loved by these industry trades. These Saudis certainly aren't. So them coming in and just like firing the guy on the spot and humiliating him, that'll send a certain signal. I don't want to say a certain Jimmy Kimmel type of situation, but it'll send a type of signal that like immediately you're just removing this guy for whatever reasons. It
Yeah.
won't be as blunt as the Jimmy Kimmel one, but you do understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
They may want to avoid that. They may want to just what do they care? They'll just let him. They'll say, "No, we love him. We love him. His contract's about to end. We love the guy." Then the second it ends, he's done. He's gone. I really think that that's what happened. So I said this in my videos, and then not to be producer Patrick, but even like then I saw this thing. Suddenly this thing like Cosmic Book News wrote it and they're like, oh look, like, you know, people are saying that they may not come in there and just exactly what I said, like they may not come in there and fire him on day one. Maybe they'll want him to buy with, like, you know, work with Gunn together. That's another theory. They're like, maybe they'll work together, they'll coexist. I don't really think that these two can coexist, but stranger things have happened, I guess. And yeah, as bizarre as it is to say this, I think that Zack Snyder. If you would have asked me like a month or two ago, I would have said like the chances are zero. I think that at this point he has at least a chance, at least a chance for them to come and give him like, you know, to make a movie. I don't know which movie it would be, what it would be, but if we suddenly see Zack Snyder doing a DCEU movie, I wouldn't be shocked at this point because
Mhm.
he's working with the Saudis on some UFC movie that they've already invested in, and that like one of the top guys from like Saudi Arabia post all these photos of him like hanging out with Zack Snyder on his Instagram and stuff. Like, this is real. I'm not I'm not inventing. Like, they actually do have a relationship with him. They seem to like him. And Ellison's, I don't know if they like him or not, but I don't think that they would extremely love what Gunn is doing. One thing I will say that Cosmic Book News was saying that recently, did you see that Zack Snyder posted on Veterans Day? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I did see that post.
So he posted something with like Henry Cavill as Superman next to the American flag, and he's like, "I want to shout out to all the veterans and all that." And that's something that I guess Cosmic Book News. I thought that I saw them write something today that they wrote that people are saying that the reason why Zack Snyder did that is actually he's trying to cozy up to like you know, Trump or Ellison's or whatever it is. He's more patriotic. Look, like Superman, the American way. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Will
Why
this
not?
all work? I don't know, but I am telling you that as bizarre as this may sound, I think that I mean, if nothing else, I have to say that that guy is a pretty decent politician. Like every time you think that he's out for the count, he somehow manages to pop back up, Zack Snyder. And at this point, I don't underestimate him. People said that that Snyder cut would never happen, and then he usually like when there's a corporate takeover of sorts, he knows how to maneuver the situation to his advantage. And at this point, I'm not saying it's 100%, but if it happened, I wouldn't be shocked at this point.
Yeah. Uh, over on we do have a super chat over on YouTube if you want to grab that so we can talk about it. Another one from the dead man.
Oh, okay.
And then while you're pulling that up, Bingo Hazmat says, "What is wrong with RAM prices?" It's talking about the 32 2x16 DDR 6000 costs more than a GeForce RTX 5060. Yes, it does. That's because all of that RAM is being eaten up to be used for AI. It's being they need a ton of RAM to be able to put into all of these AI data centers, to put in with all these chips that they're using for AI. And so yeah, it is at a premium right now. So Yeah.
I wanted to address something. This is what I think about Snyder, and I always say the same thing. I think that there's some people that love him, some people that hate him, and I always tell people that I fall somewhere in the middle. Look at his movies, especially when we talk of the DCEU, and I have some issues with them. But for example, if I look at Man of Steel, I always repeat this and say it. He didn't write that screenplay. As a person that they gave him a screenplay to direct it, I don't think that he did a terrible directorial job with Man of Steel, in my humble opinion. I just think that there were parts of the screenplay that bothered me. So I always say the same thing, that if Snyder were to return, I prefer Henry Cavill and the atmosphere and visual style of whatever his universe was more than what Gunn was doing. The only thing is, I would really hope that they bring strong writers, a strong screenplay, something to give him. And if you give him something good to work with, I think that he can execute it. I think that he can direct it. I just hope that it's not a situation where they're like, well, you write everything, because that probably wouldn't be as good. I think that, I always say it. He's the type of director, and that's not a bad thing to be. He's the type of director that, in my opinion, you give him a good screenplay, he can direct a good movie. You give him a screenplay that's not good, well, then it won't be good.
Yeah.
And hopefully, real good writers write that screenplay. I don't know today in Hollywood if there are even any good writers left. That's what worries me. That
Yeah, that's the real struggle now. Is are
such
there
a
any good
shortage.
writers left?
Yeah, I mean, we always go over this in Man of Steel, like, Man of Steel. I don't want to get a million things, but the way that Pa Kent dies, that he doesn't care, that he doesn't
Yeah.
save the kids, and
Jeez.
that
Yeah.
Zod and him battle in the city, and they don't care about the people. There's a lot of stuff that's really, really strange about this movie, and I still think that if you corrected, like, if there was like a list where I could correct about 4 or 5 things about Man of Steel, the movie improves significantly if you corrected those things. And it's unfortunate. Because it's hard sometimes to get the right actor and the right kind of atmosphere and vibe, even the music. I felt like there were some good things that were done there. I think that Henry Cavill, when I see him fly, even the first time when I watched it, when I see like Henry Cavill in that scene that he like starts flying, I really enjoy that. That's like a moment that I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. It's just, I wish that there was that the movie wasn't so uneven. Just my personal opinion. And I know some people, they love it, some people they hate it. I've met every type of person, and I respect it. I respect people that like it or don't like it. It's all fine. I can really, as somebody sort of in the middle, I think that I can understand both sides of this coin. But like I said, uh, I'm hopeful that if there's a situation that he comes back, that they hire good writers. That's my really, really big demand. And I wish Hollywood just in general would do that. I've been watching so many movies, especially this year, these past few years. I can't believe how bad the screenplays are. It's like you're dealing with a situation where you're investing like $100 million, and the screenplays are like the bottom of the barrel. The fact that people approve these screenplays and then put all this money into these big tentpole movies is just outrageous.
Oh no. Yeah.
But what were you
Incredibly
going to
bad.
show? You were going to show something here. You're
Oh well,
you're
we
you're
had a super.
producer Patrick.
Did you
Oh,
get the
sorry.
super
The
chat? Yeah.
sorry, the super chat. Okay, hold on.
Yep. And then we can move on.
Let's see. Hold on one second.
Yeah. Yeah, the RAM shortage is specifically has to do with a lot of the manufacturers, the big manufacturers have shifted their lanes, shifted all of their manufacturing over to the really high-end stuff that's needed for the AI data centers. And so that means that the consumer grade stuff, they're not making hardly any of it. And so prices go sky high. That's how it goes.
It is. I didn't mind Russell Crowe in that movie. I like Russell Crowe, and I didn't mind him in the movie. That's my
Nah, I didn't mind
personal.
him at all in that. It was a small part. and
He didn't bother me.
I didn't mind
Uh,
him in that.
Jason Webster, I like your comment. Man of Steel was as much a Christopher Nolan's baby as anyone. Nolan wrote the story. Podcast stuff with Nolan's idea. Nolan was both producer and executive producer on the film.
Yep.
I like a lot of stuff that Nolan does. That was a huge mistake. If there's a moment that I can point out, and you're right, you can't put all the blame on whatever is bad about that movie on Zack Snyder, when I think that most of the things specifically about Man of Steel, I don't know about other movies, but Man of Steel is, like you said, Nolan had a lot more of a hand in that one than the other things, those other DCU movies, and I feel like he got it wrong with Pocket. I don't know. Maybe I've always said that on paper, I feel like somebody thought on paper that there would be an interesting emotional payoff to
Yeah.
Pac-Man dying that way. It needed another draft, because we always talk about this. If, let's say, Clark was going, instead of his grumpy father telling him not to save kids, it's the opposite. He's always taught to save people and to help the public and all this stuff. And that's the kind of values he's given. And this hurricane comes along and he's going to help people. But as he's going to help them, he misses like his father by like a millisecond, because he can't be at 70 places at the same time saving everybody, and,
Yeah.
and and because of that he arrives at the last second too late and isn't able to save him. That's what crushes him. I think that could have been very emotional. You would have put that in the movie, really game changer in a movie. It like for me, when I saw that Pa Kent scene, it does put a damper. It takes you out of the movie, because you're like, man, no way. It's not something that you could just say, well, it's not like a cringe joke that you can just write off and continue to enjoy the movie. It's it's a moment that's really difficult, really difficult to ignore what happened there, and they just needed to give it a little more thought, or as a script doctor says, give the screenplay another pass or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. That is one thing that I absolutely hate when I'm watching a movie and I see something that's going on. I see some action that somebody's taking, or I see there's some twist or turn in the plot or something that happens, and it doesn't happen because generically the motivations of the characters would lead them there. It doesn't happen because we have some mechanism, some rule, something that's been set up earlier in the story that has led to this moment and it's inevitable. No, it just happens because the script says so. And that's what happens with Pa Kent's death in that movie. He dies because the script says he dies.
Right.
There is no other reason. There are a dozen different ways that scene could have gone differently, and he would have been fine.
I have
But he dies because the script says, "Oh, it's time for Pa Kent to die." And so he's going to stand here and hold out his hand, whatever. When he knows that he could have sent his son to go get the dog, and he wouldn't have been hurt. He wouldn't have been harmed. Or he could have done any of a dozen other things. Anyway, but it's such an old argument. But yeah,
But
it's
I want
so
to
dumb.
answer. I want to answer something. Are we forgetting Rebel Moon? First of all, not forgetting Rebel Moon, and Rebel Moon is the reason, because on that one, I think Zack Snyder had more creative writing type of input than all the other stuff, because he was like, more of a say in the actual story there. I actually think that proved that he really needs good screenwriters. When it comes to the other stuff, I think that David Goyer was like the top dog when it came to the writing of Man of Steel. That's what I believe. Maybe Chris Nolan had some input, but I think that David Goyer had a lot to say. When it comes to Batman versus Superman, I think a lot of it relied on Chris Terrio, which again, he wrote that Argo movie, and Argo was okay, but writing Argo, which was okay and overrated in my opinion, is not the same thing as writing Batman versus Superman. And I think that Chris Terrio guy was not the perfect fit for that screenplay, personally. So again, you can talk about Rebel Moon, and absolutely, even in my reviews for that, I said that Zack Snyder should not be, focusing his uh, energy on writing. He should have, if he wants to give input in writing, he needs to have alongside him very, very strong writers whoever it is that are working with him on stuff like Rebel Moon, those guys aren't the people that he needs to work with, in my opinion. But yeah, so not forgetting that, I'm saying what I say all the time. When I watch a movie like Watchmen, I understand that if you give him the right setting and the right material, he can deliver a good movie. I do believe that. I think that the guy does have a certain visual style, and I don't dislike his visual style. People are talking about like the difference in the Superman 2025 and the Man of Steel thing. If nothing else, there were certain flashes of moments in Man of Steel which I thought that had a more epic feel, had an actor that I felt was good in the role, who convinced me that he was, had a vibe of like somebody that could play Superman. The casting, I liked a lot of the cast of that movie. I liked Hans Zimmer's. I think it was Hans Zimmer that did the score. There were things, and the cinematography, the visuals. There were things that I legitimately liked about it. But again, a screenplay like that has to be good, and maybe he's not the person to really blame for that, but can't ignore some serious issues in that screenplay for Man of Steel. Anyhow, Istophobos says Badlands is 100% because the script says so. Yes, that one is embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah. It is all, the whole thing is just, yeah. This happens because, we said it happens. It's often referred to. You often hear people talk about the and then screenwriting. It's where it's just this happens and then this happens and then this happens, instead of every story beat actually leading into the next thing. What we know about the characters, or motivations, or the rules of the world that's been set up, that actually sort of logically moves you from step 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and actually, that story organically, expands into the, what we get in the film. No, instead it's just, okay, this happens. All right, next. Yeah, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? I feel like that is how Snyder writes a script. When Snyder's writing something, he just says, "Oh, this happens. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? Hey, wait, wouldn't it be cool if that happened too?" And that's all we get from him. Again, I'm not saying that as a creative he's completely worthless. I do think he's directed some great stuff. I think he can be a good director. I just as a writer, no thank you, right? It's like George Lucas. I think George Lucas has some incredible ideas. As a script writer, no.
Right.
Keep him the hell away from the script. Let somebody else write that. We learned that from the prequels. He wrote some of the most astonishingly terrible stuff you've ever heard, some of the worst dialogue. He needed somebody else to take a pass on that script, to go over it and punch it up,
Absolutely.
to work on
Absolutely.
the dialogue, do some stuff. And honestly, I still say that the prequels tell a story that could have been a really great trilogy of films.
Could have been a
With
great trilogy.
with with the same, basically the same story beats, the same characters, but if you had somebody there that was putting actually like building the motivations of the characters into the script more directly, who was writing real human dialogue that the characters would share with each other, I think you could tell, even the goofy political stuff and whatever, you could still have that stuff in there. But if you had somebody who was a really talented script writer, they could have taken that exact same story that he told over those 3 films and told it in a much more interesting, much more compelling way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with and we've talked about it before, one of the biggest problems with the prequels is that George Lucas had become such a brand name and such an icon and such a legend
It was
that
a
at this
god,
point,
basically, at this
yeah, I
point,
mean,
among the people that he worked with. Yeah.
nobody was going to push back on anything. So if he said, "Hey, why don't we have Jar Jar walking around and making strange noises?" They said, "You're the best, George. You're the best. Why don't we have like, Anakin
Yes,
who,
Mr. Lucas.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. It's like, what if Anakin was like a whiny teen and acted like a little jerk off? Oh, we love it, George. It's
Oh,
the
you're a
best. Like,
genius.
you're
You're
a
a
genius.
genius, George.
You're the best. You're George Lucas. You're the best. Thank you for speaking to me.
Yeah.
That was the whole vibe. And I think that when a guy walks around and all you have is people bowing down and telling you how great you are,
Yeah.
it's very hard to sort of do the job that you need to do. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because, like you said, it could have been a great trilogy. I
Yeah.
always remind people this, that at least this is the rumors that I've heard over the years, that for the Revenge of the Sith, apparently, more than people realize, this is the rumor. Steven Spielberg would show up on set from time to time to try to help out a bit, and I think that the reason why he did it was to try to help him tie up the story better. I genuinely feel like he really tried to help him in the final chapter. I don't know if he realized what was going on, what we're saying. He understood the problem and he wanted to try to lend a helping hand because, and again, this is just what I've heard over the years. When Spielberg would come to the set, like, it wouldn't be the same as those other, like, yes men. Meaning, if Steven Spielberg came and they're talking about a scene and he's like, "Hey George, what if you did this and this?" And George would be like, "Yeah, that's great." First of all, George doesn't is able to save face. Nobody is looking like, "Oh, he's embarrassing George Lucas," because it's Spielberg. You know what I mean? If like if George Lucas listens to Spielberg give an idea and he's like, "Yeah, that could be interesting," and they actually do it, it's not as bad. Do you get what I mean? Like,
Yes.
the optics of it look better. And I think that the fact that at the end he helped him with some of the stuff and whatever, I think that highlights what was the problem with these movies. Maybe I wish that from the first second he brought in Steven Spielberg as sort of a partner. Even convinced him, why don't you direct the movies? We can do them together. If there was a situation like that, I think that Spielberg would have been able, especially during those years. I think that Steven Spielberg could have created something better, helped create something better. Just my personal opinion, of course.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. There's still there's a seed, right? There's a core of a good story there, I think, but it just was told so
Oh, hey,
poorly.
Robot Head, how's it going?
Yeah.
I,
So yeah, Dead Man says he thinks it's going to be Paramount Plus. It's going to win the streaming wars. It certainly has been doing well, although we do know that Paramount Plus now, after is it next year, they've lost Taylor Sheridan, who's basically been their ace in the hole so far.
but they say that they didn't even make an effort to sign him because David Ellison didn't like him.
Yeah, which is a fascinating, fascinating take. Why do you not? Even if he's not personally something that you like, why do you not seek him out if he's
The rumor is, and I don't know if this is true, there's two different sides to this story. I've heard
yeah.
the Taylor doesn't feel like being there, screw them, and I've heard the other side of it, of that Ellison had a meeting with him. They had a meeting, and after that meeting, Ellison kind of wasn't really putting on like full energy to keep him there. What happened in this meeting? What was said? What happened? I mean, listen, this Taylor Sheridan guy seems like a complicated, difficult guy. He seems like a guy with a big ego. I can see why maybe you sit with him and you kind of feel, I don't really love this guy. At the same time, he delivers results, so it is rather odd. Don't really know. And what will happen to all of his shows? I mean, I guess, will he continue to work on the shows that exist? I mean, what's he going to do? Run away and leave all of his shows in the hands of others?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Speaking of
I'm
that,
interested to see what's going to happen with those. Yeah.
oh, you had an article here. Let's
Oh, well, this was just kind of following up what we were talking about here, because we were talking about the Saudi money possibly being part of this, and then Paramount coming back and saying, no, they're not going to be a part of our bid, whatever. So really, we have these three different players that are really the ones that primarily are up, to be the big bidders for this Warner Brothers Discovery buyout. And then we probably got another 2 to 3 weeks before we find out which direction that we're going. But we have so the big players. We already know that we did have a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery that was rejected. That was an initial bid from Ellison for 23.50 a share. So they said no to that one, and then other companies have been coming in. So Paramount Skydance is still a big player in this bidding. Uh, it says here in this Variety article, Ellison's key argument is that they're going to be the best dance partner for Warner Brothers Discovery compared to the others. Essentially, they're saying that we're going to come in and we're going to work with you. We're not going to take over. We're going to come in and we're going to do this together, right?
Yeah, but
And
obviously, yeah.
that's what they're saying is we're not coming in to just run this place, run you over.
No, not at
It's
all,
to
not at
make
all.
to make things,
Of course not.
to build this
No, to
with
build it
you.
together. They don't
Yes, yeah.
even. It's like they're not even there. Pretend that they're not even there.
And then, of course, Ellison's camp, as it says here, suggests that the union introduced a far stronger competitor to the likes of Disney and Netflix. The Ellison family is fully backing the play for Warner Bros. Discovery with participation from Redbird Capital, which helped fund the Paramount Global deal. So the next big player is, of course, Netflix. That's the one that supposedly has brought the strongest bid. We don't know that for sure, but that's supposedly who is really bringing the money. So it says Netflix has stock with 470 billion plus market cap and cash on hand of 9.3 billion. To make a credible bid, an offer would likely be all stock, so they wouldn't actually be coming in with cash. But the streamer isn't a spend at all cost mode either. Note that Netflix passed on outbidding Ellison for UFC rights, which Paramount's acquired in a 7.7 billion 7-year deal with Ari Emanuel led's TKO. So as it says here, there's other antitrust concerns with Netflix getting its hands on HBO Max and Warner Brothers Studios. And that's, let's see, Rep. Daryl Issa, Republican California, raised on November 13th letter to Trump officials before a bid was even in. With more than 300 million global subscribers and a vast content library, Netflix currently wields unequaled market power. So that's that's another consideration, another thing for them to worry about. Perhaps if they decided to go forward with a Netflix bid, if there's challenges there to that say no, you're not, this merger is not okay, that could be a real problem for Warner Brothers Discovery. Of course, that all depends on the contract, right? They could have some sort of hold harmless thing in there or something that could end up netting Warner Brothers Discovery a lot of money if they're forced to back out. So I don't know. The other player would be Comcast. We also talked about them. So right now, as it says, they're already undergoing it's their own split as Versant cable TV vehicles ready to push off from NBC Universal by year end. Comcast CEO Brian Roberts and Mike Kavanaugh, like Ellison, see huge synergy opportunities. There's one of those great business buzzwords, synergy, right? For combining HBO Max with Peacock and merging Warner Brothers Studios into Universal. See, I think this one, it's not mentioned here because we didn't have a letter like from Daryl Issa or anything, but I think this one could also be a problem for antitrust because Universal is such a big studio. We've already got Peacock and the different streaming platforms. Probably not as big a concern as Netflix, but still a big one. I don't know. What do you think, Price? Do you think that any of these seem like the better deal for Warner Brothers, or I don't.
At the end of the day, I think that they need the administration to back this thing. The more I think about it, and especially if like Trump is cool with the Ellisons and maybe cool with like the Saudis, I think that the idea of them investing money, the Ellisons being the company that actually executes it, and Trump, you know, approving it, that's sort of an equation that makes the most sense to me. Is that going to play off out that way? I don't know. It could be that Comcast teams up with the Saudis, but I don't know. I think that Netflix, It doesn't matter how they feel about them. I think that there's like an antitrust issue there. I don't think that that's going to happen. Comcast people say that their CEO Trump doesn't like him. It could at the end play a role. It seems minor, but you know what? In a situation like this, if the president doesn't like you, in this case, it's not that great. People were like, "No, he can still work around it." Maybe he could, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I personally think that Paramount with Saudi money, with partial Saudi money, seems probably like the front running option in my mind. I could be wrong though. I'm not producer Patrick, you know.
You're not, no, you are not on the scene. So we
Produce. I love how he delivered it though. It was his delivery that was really special. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
I want to do an experiment. I'm probably gonna embarrass myself. This is like I'm like Geraldo with Al Capone. So can you see this?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm writing this thing here. Who is the first who who was the first YouTuber to declare Superman 2025 a box office flop? But I have to add a comment. Please exclude YouTubers that said the movie was doing was an international flop, but was, I don't know how to explain this, doing well domestically. Because there were people that were like, "Oh, it's international." I want like a full box office flop. Please exclude YouTubers that said the movie was an international flop but was doing well domestically. Who was the first person after its release? Am I doing this right?
Sure.
Now, I don't know what's going to happen. It's probably going to be like producer Patrick. Croc is probably going to tell me that it's producer Patrick. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Okay. This is going to be Geraldo Rivera and then Al Capone's gun. I know it. But I'm going to do it anyways. Are you all there? Is anybody still watching? Robot Head, I'll ask who the sexiest one is in a second. Who was the first shooter after its release? Please exclude you. Okay, let's see what happens. It's gonna be some weasel.
Oh, see, it's trying to figure out if it was actually a flop or not.
Okay.
Yep, it's doing all it's different reasoning steps here. compelling video. Oh, look
Professor.
at that.
Professor. Guys, it's producer Patrick on the scene, guys. Come on. Price of Reason on the scene. I did it. I did it. We didn't know it was gonna
There you
happen. Look
go.
at it, Professor.
There you go. Making history right there.
So and I just want to say this, and I'm going to do my producer Patrick moment. The thing is that so many people, even they come to my videos and they're like, even when I was posting stuff, they're like, or even recently when I like remind people that I was one of the first to say it, I usually say one of the first. I don't even say the first, and people are like, "Why? So many people were saying it before you." Oh no, they weren't saying it before me. And when I say that's the way. I don't want to be producer Patrick. You know what I mean? First of all, I have nothing against producer Patrick, but you know what I'm. I understand how producer Patrick feels in some odd way, even though I don't want to do the on the scene. But I understand. I understand why. Hey, robot head. Uh, so basically,
Screenshot that.
I'm gonna screenshot that, and then let me see. I'm gonna screenshot the thing with us looking at it. Producer Patrick on the scene. Yeah, and the thing is that I'm gonna be very careful. There's somebody who is I shouldn't say it. I brought it to somebody's attention who I felt was kind of ignoring the fact that I did this, and that person reacted in a way that I found kind of insulting. Not going to go into it before. I don't want to air any kind of laundry or anything, but it's. I also got comments in my videos and no, you didn't do it. You're not the first. You're not. It's like no, Professor, you don't remember when this movie came out? Everybody was glazing gun. Like there were two groups of people that were glazing gun and some even like in our own circles, people that were quiet about it. Like they didn't really want to say that they think it's a flop, even if they thought it was a flop.
Yep. Because it did have pretty solid domestic opening. It was
I did.
performing pretty well domestically, performed very poorly internationally. And over time, that domestic box office just didn't bear out the kind of money that they needed. So
And initially what happened is that there was like the initial narrative, and that's why I said to exclude it, that there were people who were saying, well, it didn't do domestically, it didn't do internationally well, but it's so strong domestically. That was like the moving the goalposts, like those kind of John Campias that they're like, well, it's a bit disappointing internationally, but look at it go domestically. So that's why I already know that like some of them were saying that. I was the one that's just said no, it's a flop, period. So yeah, I'm very, very it does mention here it says like Angry Joe said that like breaks records but flops internationally. Do you see it?
yep.
And I guess Heel Baby versus Babyface said something, but I think that he was also highlighting the international softness versus the steady domestic performance. Again, I'll stop producer Patricking
Yes.
you now, but
As likes to highlight softness. I'm not sure why.
but let me see. I'll write this: is Robot Head the sexiest YouTuber? I think that's what he wanted me to ask. I don't know. Let's see what this. Robot Head, do you see the answer? They write, that's a bold claim, and honestly, yeah, pretty damn close. Robot Head has the perfect storm of sharp Aussie wit, unapologetic nerd rage, and a voice that could narrate an apocalypse and still make it sound sexy. The mask adds mystery, the rants are passionate, and let's be real, anyone who can eviscerate Disney Star Wars for hours while keeping you hooked has some serious charisma. But the sexiest, that crown's contested. You've got heavyweights like Critical Drinker, Scottish accent plus whiskey and trenchcoat energy, Mahler, velvet voice of doom, or even Nerdrotic with that silver fox thing going on. Verdict, Robot Head is top 3, easily, sexiest, depends on your type. If angry masked Australian who hates bad writing does it for you, congratulations, you found your man. I want to say that this is actually scary. That is actually a scary answer from Grok because it's like it's not a bozo answer. You know what I mean? Like this,
No.
I feel like we're doomed. Screenshot. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
screenshot this. Uh,
I don't know about the silver fox thing with Nerdrotic, but okay,
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
If
maybe
you
that
want to
was a
go
bit
there.
much, but you know what? Pretty darn good thing that they like. This is pretty good.
That's funny. That's very funny.
I've screenshotted it, Robot Head. You know what? I'm gonna post it now. Let's see if I can post the screenshot. Here. Breaking. Robot Head is one of the
in the top 3.
is one of the top 3 sexiest YouTubers. according to Grok. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
5 people are going to see this. Are you ready, Professor?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Here, I posted it.
it. Post it.
I did it. Careful what you wish for, Rowan. I actually posted that. Anyhow, how did we get to? Oh, okay. Producer Patrick. Producer Patrick changed my life. I don't know why that's like a life-changing experience. Now I want to invite him to the show. I want him to tell me that, like, personally. Wanted to say, Producer Patrick on the scene.
On the scene.
Just before we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let me see. Where was that thing? I love it. Like now I okay. Before we go. Oh, I don't know actually how to. Oh, I don't know how to fast forward a thing. I don't want to listen to his whole video. I wanted him to say like Producer Patrick on the scene, but I don't feel like waiting for the whole video of him talking. On the scene. Wait, I have a solution, Professor. Are you ready? Tell a joke.
It's always with the jokes.
Oh wait, there's a dead man super chat.
There is a super
So
chat.
let's do that first. And then okay. I'm going to share this thing so we can see what the dead man said. Share. Okay. The Fall of the Jedi and Rise of the Empire would have been my titles. That's fine. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, those work.
So, I listen, I didn't even care about the titles. I didn't mind the Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones. Or none of that bothered me. It's just,
Yeah.
you could call those movies whatever you want, just make them good movies. If they would have been slam dunk movies, we would have all like been relishing those titles. It's not the titles that were the main issue for me. Lio says R2 dad joke engage. And then I am gonna now try to impress you. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can find it. So, oh wait, where was it? Okay, I think we'll do this. Are you ready, Professor?
Yes.
Okay. Share this tab. Are you ready? I think I got it at the part that I wanted. Okay.
So right now, everything is tracking on point on the timeline, and we will see who the owner is that's going to emerge. So you know who the source was and where the information was coming from. Producer Patrick on the scene.
So first, I don't know why I'm such a terrible person. Why does that make me laugh? Like I'm such a terrible, terrible person. I have to have this guy on the show. Like I want Producer Patrick to hang out with us. I want more like gems. I want more gems like that one. Anyhow, what was the next thing on our docket, Professor? I don't know how we got here. This has been such a
Let's say
strange
they went.
stream.
I mean, the last thing on our list, at least on the on the titles, is Sisu.
Right. Okay. So Sisu was a movie that came out a few years ago. There was Sisu 1, where it's about a guy and he's in battling like mustache men and the tail end of World War II. and he has gold, and they're trying to steal it from him, and he gets annoyed, and he basically Minecrafts them all, or I don't know what word I'm looking for, but
Yeah.
he destroys them all. It's very kind of graphic. It's almost like a First Blood meets Mad Max type of situation there. It's a but like as a period piece, historical thing. But it does have moments that are rather cartoonish, meaning considering the subject matter, the way the movie plays out is very kind of graphic and almost cartoonish. And that's actually what makes it kind of interesting, because if the movie took itself too seriously, I think it would be difficult to enjoy it. The first one, I don't know if anybody watched it. Let me see if I can find uh, Rotten Tomatoes, the first one. So the first one has like this guy, he has gold, he has like a dog, they're walking around. There's the mustache man, he's destroying them all. And I think that the guy, I think he's from Finland. I don't know what. It's a guy it's like a co-production, Finland and Americans. I don't really know. In any case, this guy's a pretty good actor. I think that he does well in the lead role. He doesn't really say much. Most of the time he's just like, chopping his eminent enemies, if you know what I mean, doing
Yes.
like very
Yes.
graphic stuff and whatever. But I thought that the movie one of the mustache men, I think, also kicks his dog. He has like a dog, a rather cute dog. In any case, it's not a movie that you could just look at it and realistically think, oh, this is like a realistic movie. It's very pulpy. It almost feels like it would be something that maybe Tarantino would do, but if Tarantino would do it, there would also be a lot of like cool dialogues in here. Whereas here, it just feels like the more graphic side without the dialogue, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's sort of like First Blood meets I don't know what. I don't know if to say First Blood, Mad Max, and Inglorious Bastards. I don't really know, but it's something of a strange hybrid. I don't think it's a bad movie. I watched the first movie. If you're expecting like Citizen Kane, you're not going to get it from this movie. If you're expecting a movie that just like is very straightforward, it's not a high budget movie. I think the first one was made for a few $1 million. I actually like that. I like when movies don't use $100 million, when they create a certain atmosphere and vibe and visual style and all that, and they do it more on the cheap. I respect that more, and I think that the movie does a pretty decent job. I thought that the first one, very serviceable movie. Nothing like I'd say it's not like the best movie I've ever seen, but I think it's good. I see even the critics here, they gave 94%, the audience score 88%. I can't really argue. I mean, it's good. Maybe 94%. I don't know if I would have given it that. I personally like 94% for me. If it's not like, it has to be like an all-time classic for that kind of grade. And I wouldn't put it in that category. But if somebody gave this movie like an 80 or something, like it says something in the 80s, something like that, I think that I could be more okay with it. And the score, the popcorn meter, 88%, seems a little more like it. I think if I had to give it a score, I'd give it maybe like an 80, maybe something like that. But I don't know. I'm not very
Yeah.
generous when it comes to scores. So what do I know?
Yeah.
So that's the first one. And now this week, a new movie came out, Sisu Part 2. So I've seen an early screening of Sisu Part 2. Now I know in Finland they've already shown it or whatever it is.
Yeah. The Road to Revenge, right? Is the
Yeah.
name of it? Yeah.
So I'm showing this thing here. It has a 96%, interestingly, from the critics. I'm surprised the critics like it. This seems like something the critics would give like a 0 to, because they're such like jerk-offs usually. So in any case, which reminds me, I keep I still have never heard back from Rotten Tomatoes. I always remember this. I submitted myself to become an official critic, meaning like that they would take my critiques like of movies and they'd include it in their score. And to date, they've never gotten back to me. Can you believe it, Professor?
I'm shocked. Shocked.
There is an actual process you can go through, that you have to submit all these papers, do all this stuff, and I told you, just for my own curiosity, I did all of it just to see what would happen, and they never even I think they're supposed to get back to you, but in my case, they didn't even get back to me. Like, at least see, and you know why I'm insulted? They didn't even do the minimum of like, "Thank you for submitting yourself to our thing. We've reviewed your thing, and now you can go fuck yourself." Sorry, Sean. They didn't even do that. You know what I mean? Like they didn't even have an AI robot send me that. I wasn't even important enough to get the robot saying like, "Hey, screw you, buddy.
We have reviewed your application and do not believe we will
Think you're an asshole.
continue with your
You could go screw like, yeah, we
approval
hate
at
you."
this
Like,
time.
right, they didn't do that. So in any case, Sisu Road to Revenge, I've seen an early screening. It's in theaters November 21st, so that comes out, I guess, probably tomorrow. You can already see it. Tomorrow, I mean, now we're already, you know what I'm trying to, Thursday.
Yeah.
So I've seen the movie, and I just wanted to give a critique of it. Basically, I would say that if you enjoyed the first movie, you're probably likely to enjoy the second movie. I think that the second movie, if it was even possible, is a bit more cartoonish and over the top than the first one, which was also had moments of being cartoonish and over the top. But I didn't find myself hating it. It's like you kind of know what you're signing up for, and if you're patient and you're open minded to this kind of strange thing that sort of pays homage to maybe some movies you grew up with and liked in terms of action and things like that, there is something to enjoy here. I will again say it doesn't rank amongst my favorite movies, not the first one and not the second one. They're not like I wouldn't say that they're like at the top of any list for me. But considering the kind of crap we've seen in more recent years, it seems like at least I like it when I see a director that has a certain style and a certain approach, and you could tell that these movies are not very expensive. I always appreciate that more. When somebody is taking like a relatively low amount of money, but generating something that is presentable and seems interesting and sort of has its own character, I can respect that. And I feel like Sisu, if nothing else, in the first movie, what happens is that he has like gold, and it's these mustache men tried to take it from him, and he gets his vengeance. You also learn throughout that movie that he once had a family, and the Russians in the Winter War uh, minecrafted them, or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And in this movie it goes back to that idea that now he's a target for like Russians, and it almost feels like a Western. They send like a top Russian guy to like that the guy that initially killed his Minecraft, whatever, his family. They send him to go after him, and it's sort of like a cat and mouse game. Again, very. There's things that happen here that make zero sense. It's like think of a lot of stuff you saw in maybe Rambo and Rambo 3, even like things that are like ridiculous. Like there's no way like a human being can survive some of the situations that he's in. It's almost like he's a comic book character. It's almost like if you said this guy was a comic book character, it would actually make me feel better because of how over the top it is. But if you accept that you know what that's what it is, and you just go with the flow, I didn't hate the movie. I thought it was pretty good. Not only did I not hate it, there was something that I appreciated about it. It's certainly, I don't know if it's for everybody, but I didn't mind. I thought they were pretty decent movies, with the first one and the second one. And again, I have a feeling that if you like the first one, you're probably likely going to like the second one.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
have
like
not
if you liked Rocky 2, that you'll probably like Rocky 3.
yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I have not seen the first one yet. I know it's I guess it's on streaming now. I didn't look to see where it was. I'm sure it's on streaming now, but yeah, I
It's
haven't
Bobby
seen it
Flay with mac and cheese.
yet.
I don't remember, why does Bobby Flay make mac and cheese? I don't even remember. I haven't seen Bobby Flay in a really long time. Does he still do those kind of shows like, oh, like why don't you beat me at cooking? Never know what that guy wants. In any case, Yeah, so my overall feeling about this movie is that it's rather decent, and I if you understand what it is and you like that, like I said, a combination of like Mad Max and Inglorious Bastards and Rambo of sorts, if you like that kind of thing, there's something to enjoy here. But also don't expect this to be like the most groundbreaking movie you've ever seen, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And I think also you need a little bit of patience getting into it, but if you're open-minded and you give it a fair chance, I think there's something to enjoy here to an extent. So that was my review for Sisu
yeah,
Road to Revenge. And now, trying to think, did want to ask you a question.
sure.
I watched Tulsa King this
Yeah.
week. I'm still waiting for this thing to really, sweep me off my feet, Professor. I feel like this season has been really kind of
Oh, it's been a real mess. Not that it's been terrible.
it's
It's just
watchable. Yeah.
it's yeah, you're waiting the whole time for something to happen. It feels like everything that's been going on is just sort of marking time. It's the same sort of stories we've gotten in previous seasons, just done again with a different, different characters. Okay, this time, what's he doing this time? Well, he's not getting into weed. This time he's getting into liquor. And oh, oh, he's got to face off against the big guy who runs the liquor business in Tulsa. Oh, and there's a all this other little stuff that's happening around it with some of his crew, and they're getting into their own hijinks, and oh, he's button heads with New York, and it's the same thing. It's it's the same thing we've gotten for several seasons now. It worked really well in the first season. First season is stellar from start to finish. So good. Second season, it works. There's some different characters introduced, some different dynamics that are introduced there that work out. This season, it just feels like it's just the same thing over again. What do we got? One episode left, right?
It feels like we never really got started with this season. It's fine. It's like I didn't suffer watching any of these episodes, but I can't even think of one episode that really got me excited that I'm like, wow. Like all of them are just kind of I don't want to say it's not I don't want to say going through the motions, but it just feels like we're missing some kind of punch here. And maybe this final episode will attempt to do something, but I can't feel that this season was strong enough. Maybe the only thing that was a little bit like, at least there was a ticking bomb or whatever it is in that governor's mansion. At least it was a little bit of sort of action. But even there, I had some questions about the writing of that, to be honest. Like, the guy that did it, he so quickly gave them the information, like, why would he give it to them at that point?
Yeah,
Do you get
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, they were like,
yeah.
"Oh, where'd you put the thing?" He's like, "I put it in the thing. It goes off at this time. It goes." It's like, how so many people are conveniently, like, letting them to know the plot of this,
Yeah.
in a way that was like, man, it's just a bit too convenient. They could have they could have made it a little more elaborate how they would figure out that that's where this thing is gonna take place. And I don't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't when it comes to the banter, it's not, like, as strong as especially if you look at the
No.
first season. The banter is kind of just whatever. When it comes to the writing and the suspense and building up the story, even another thing, I don't wanna say a name. There's a character, that they at some episode tell you that the guy has been Minecrafted or Minecrafted himself, and,
Yeah.
cons that was just so random considering that this was a character that mattered. It's just like, "What? What are you talking
It was
about?"
a major character from previous seasons, had played major roles in the show, and then we get, uh, 3 or 4 episodes of, "Where's Poochie?" Like, where is he? Where is this guy? He hasn't shown up. He was supposed to visit his kids. Just show up. Where is he? And then all we get is a scene of him dangling from the ceiling,
It's so
right?
strange.
That's
It's
it. Literally, I do it you don't even know that it was the same actor. In fact, I guarantee you it wasn't the actor. They didn't
no,
bring him back
it
for
was
that.
it
It was
absolutely
just
wasn't.
somebody dangling from the ceiling, and that's
No,
it.
they asked the actor, I think his name is Max Cascella or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, so they asked him if he's coming back. Like somebody in an interview, somebody asked him, and he's like, "No," and that's all he said. So some people think that there was something going on behind the scenes that he annoyed them or something. But man, give some kind of send off, do something. Like I don't know, not even a send off, but at least do something that matters. Like you build something over a few seasons. This is just like this is such a lackluster way to resolve that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't have any kind of issue with them doing the Minecraft route with him, but at least, like, do something interesting with that, not that.
Absolutely, yeah. So, somebody mentioned, who was it? E. Clay Thomason said it's because, Terrence Winter left. That could be part of it. Terrence Winter was around. He was the showrunner for the first season,
He was the
and then he
captain of
was the
the ship.
showrunner for the first half of the second season.
I
Yeah.
don't even know if he was the showrunner for the first half of the second. I think that what happened was he was the showrunner in the first season, and he was like the main writer showrunner. The second season, between the first and second season, rumor has it that he and Taylor Sheridan may have not seen eye to eye on some stuff. And at that point, he initially said that he was just, taking a step back and not even coming back. And then Stallone talked to him, and it turned out that at the end, he would do some writing for the season, contribute writing, but he wouldn't be the showrunner. So that was the compromise for season 2. Season 3, not even writing. Just he's not there, he's not writing, and he's not the showrunner. And really, if you look season to season, the less involved he is, the more the quality went down. Now, that's probably why Stallone quickly announced when this season 3 started that he already told people that season 4, Terry Winter is coming back, showrunner, writer, all that stuff. And I'm sure there's a reason why they wanted to seal that deal, because they know that, like, this show will not be able to sustain itself if there isn't a significant uptick in quality in the next season. And I don't know, maybe it's too late already. Like I think that by the time the next season comes around, whenever that'll be, I don't know how many people there will be that'll be like truly excited, but who knows? That Terrence Winter has his work cut out for him.
He does. Yeah, he does. I am hoping that the fourth season picks up. We get something new. The major thing that we got in this season seems to be the setup for a spinoff.
Also, all of that annoys me too. That just felt like, what are you doing, a backdoor pilot now? What are you shoving that in there for? I mean, don't get me wrong. I really like Samuel L. Jackson. I just wish that they would have built this in a more organic and interesting way. It just felt like so quickly. Let's bring him in. Let's spin him off. Bye.
There you go.
It all felt
Yeah.
kind of weird. I don't know. Again, I really like Samuel L. Jackson, so like the Samuel L. Jackson part of the equation is not the part that I'm bothered about. It's just that you know he is a good actor. There is something you can do. I like the fact that he's hanging out with Stallone. That was not an issue for me. It's just that I wish that there was like I said, a more thought out and more gradual. Bring him for a few episodes, build something. It felt so random and sudden, and that's something that I think that Terrence Winter brings to the table. Even if they told him, listen, we want to introduce this character, he may get a spin-off, but we really want some interesting storyline this season with him. So at least bring him for more. Even if you gradually show him doing minor stuff and like build it and build it and build it and then bring him in like more seriously into the fold, at least have some kind of setup, do something.
Hmm.
Just like they turn him into like an episode of the week. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, man, there's just been so much. I felt like this season, like they tried to do with it, and it just didn't work. It didn't actually like come together. You got a lot of this stuff just goes all these different directions, and
Oh, you said that you knew who the mole was or something like that.
oh, who I think the mole is?
Yeah.
Uh, well, well, earlier in the season, I thought it was one person, but now I think, let me see. I'm gonna get the name wrong. Um, I think it's Grace.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's her?
The very odd way that she came forward to Dwight's sister, saying, "I want to be a bigger part of the business. I want to learn more about how you do stuff here in the liquor business or whatever." Like it was very strange that she would suddenly want to insert herself in that part of the business. Um, Kind of awkward.
Did it seem
And
like they were building something? That you felt that they were planting something? I don't even remember. It was so forgettable that I
yeah,
didn't even notice.
I assumed it was his sister for quite some time that she was the leak. She was the mole inside of his organization
But where are they
because
leaking
she's
to? Who are they leaking
to the
even to?
feds. How do the feds know everything that's happening in his operation? There
Ah,
has
that's
to be
it.
somebody inside the operation who's already been, talking to the feds, right?
It'll be funny if at the end, they don't even address it, like, they'll just forget about it. Uh,
There's somebody inside that's already talking to the feds. It is not, um, it's not Bodie, it's not Mitch, it's not gonna be
Tyson, it's not
Tyson,
Tyson.
not Tyson.
He's doing too much stupid shit for it to be him.
No, Bigfoot?
Uh,
Maybe, but I just don't think I don't think that he would, that doesn't seem like that would fit his character at all. Uh, so I mean, yeah, someone's been flipped already. Just to me, the Grace seems like maybe the most likely suspect at this point. But
could be.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
No, it'll be interesting to see. Jason Webster said, "What has been the critical consensus for Wicked for Good?" Let me see. I am actually going to catch a screening for that, so that I can do a review. I'm going to
Well,
suffer.
my apologies, but
I'm going to suffer.
thank
I
you for
know
taking one for the team,
I'm
Price.
going to suffer. Uh, well, the tomato meter score is 72%, and the popcorn meter, with 2,500 mysterious people that are verified and already seen a movie that didn't even come out, 97%.
Yeah. Have you seen all the bizarro stuff that's been happening on the
Yeah, there's something that she didn't have her voice and they don't want to do
yeah,
press or what the
on the
fuck was
circuit?
all
Like,
that?
yeah. Well, and then there was this bizarro thing that happened. They were in front of the press. There's a helicopter flying over, and they start like, "Go away, helicopter!"
Do you
And
have
like,
something to
then
show
like
me? This
has
sounds
like a
really good and
panic
I feel like
attack.
I've
Oh
missed.
my god, you haven't seen this?
I haven't
Let's
seen it.
see.
Producer Patrick on the scene. You're welcome to share it with us,
Yeah,
Professor.
I'm working on trying to find something here. Yeah,
In the meantime,
here you go.
okay.
So one of the videos. This is a short version of the video, just 15 seconds. But Cynthia Erivo like starts having like a breakdown because like while she's talking, a helicopter flies over and they start like yelling at the helicopter. It's ridiculous.
Me.
Not the time, helicopter? Go away.
Me.
Just so weird.
At least maybe at this point they're just leaning into it. They're like, "Listen, we give the weirdest
They're
press ever."
they're just gonna be this most bizarro, like, what?
I think they're just leaning into it at this point. They're like, "Fuck it." Sorry, Sean. What was the thing that they
Is it
didn't wanna talk or something
I
she was
don't know. The sound of helicopters. I've never ridden in one nor passed by one, but sorry, I can't go on. What that's what oh my god. Whatever. I don't know. So weird. So
there
strange,
was
man.
something else that, like, one they wouldn't do press because one had a sore throat or something.
No,
They
yeah, Cynthia Rivos has been having issues with her voice. So I don't know if that's just like laryngitis or something else, but yeah, I think that might have been part of the interview. She was having a hard time actually communicating uh because of her voice, and then the helicopter flew over and interrupted their interview again. I mean, her reaction is absurd, but I could tell, like, I mean, I'd be frustrated too. Like, if I'm having a hard time even talking, and now there's a helicopter flying over, now there's no way you're gonna hear me because I can't speak up anymore because I'm already having a hard time communicating. I get that, but yeah, her reaction's so outsized, it's ridiculous. Yeah, these
Yeah,
num
by the
num
way,
num
you
num.
know that I got another email from, her, representatives?
Oh, really?
I did, yeah, where
Huh.
they're pitching her, I think let me look for a second, for corporate events.
Sure, that sounds great. Yeah, invite, that creepy looking weirdo to come and host your next corporate, board meeting.
You know what's strange though? I'm not gonna show everything that I got in this email, but I'll just the main thing that they start off with the picture that they chose for her. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
I don't know why when I look at this, I mean, surely there's a way to, I don't know what to say. Anything I say is not going to sound good, Professor. I'm in a tough spot here. But let me show you part of this email. Are you guys? I think it's okay, right? I'm not doing anything bad. I mean,
No,
it's not like I don't think it's like it's not.
it's not
I'm not
private
giving.
communications. This is
Yeah,
like
it's
marketing stuff.
yeah, right. It's marketing. I don't think this is any kind of. Uh, Let me see for a second. So
Make sure you're not revealing any details that you don't want anyone to see that might be in the email.
yeah, no, I'm going to do all of that. Give me a second. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Let's see what I can do. I'll make sure. Okay. Are you ready, Professor?
Aha.
And I just wonder, couldn't they choose a different photo? Like when I look at it, I just. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Let me see.
but she's a beautiful gargoyle, and everyone loves how
So this is
creepy
the
and
photo.
disturbing
This is the
she looks.
photo. I mean, I'm sure they can make this look better than this. Are you looking at it?
Oh, jeez.
So this is the photo that they give. It says Grammy, Emmy, and Tony Award winning actress, singer, producer, author, and Academy Award, Golden Globe, and SAG nominee. I didn't know she has a Grammy, Emmy, and Tony. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have, I guess.
Well, the Grammy is for Wicked, and the Tony or the Emmy is for Wicked, and the Academy
Tony, we
Award
don't know
is
what that's for,
for
though.
Wicked.
It
The
also was
Tony,
for.
I'm she Jesus Christ Superstar or something, probably, who knows? But no, it's this it's horrifying. I'm sorry that I don't want to hire that. That looks like friggin' Nosferatu. I don't want to hire that.
No, I mean, listen, if they're putting together a flyer to try to like wow people, why is I Listen, she has a strange look, okay? But I think that she could probably present herself differently than this.
I mean, what we have here is the face of mental illness. Right. That's what we're looking at. So,
It seems odd. I don't know. I mean, yeah, but again, what do I know? I mean, everybody has a right to present themselves how they want, and she certainly has the right. But I don't know. When I look at her, and then you also see these kind of pictures with Ariana Grande, I don't know if to say they look unhealthy or something. I don't really know how to explain it.
oh, Ariana Grande, she's got that overdose on Ozempic look, man.
I feel like maybe they're both taking Ozempic. I
Oh,
don't
I'm
know.
sure that's oh, please, everyone in Hollywood is taking Ozempic.
But it's not helping them. They look very weird.
Yeah, well, it causes all yeah, you get there's like people say Ozempic face and all sorts of other stuff, but yeah, the thing is they're already on like crazy restrictive diets, and then it's taking Ozempic to even lower even more their intake of calories, and so yeah, now they start looking like these skeletal, weirdos. Like, man, I've known people with eating disorders, and I've seen like these people walking around that have no fat, no muscle mass. They just look like just skeletons walking around. It's disturbing to see people thinking that that is somehow that's the picture of beauty. That's the picture of health. Like, no, I'm sorry. That is Sal the hamster says that is they do not look healthy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. But in any case, let me try to think for a bit.
Is there anything else in particular you wanted to share, or did we?
Yeah, let me see. There was one thing I wanted to do. Give me a second. Let me think
Yeah.
about what it was. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. I got it. You relax for a minute, Professor. I have another movie that I saw. I'm going to just talk
Oh,
about it.
you saw another movie.
Yes,
Price on the scene.
Price on the
Uh,
scene.
Producer
I
Price.
want that guy. Want him to say it again. I have to find that guy again. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Is that's going to emerge. So you know who the source was and where the information was coming from. Producer Patrick on the scene.
So first of all, I want to make. I love it. I absolutely love it. In any case, so I saw that thing. Now you see me. Now you don't. This
Oh
is
yeah.
such a strange movie. This is such a weird movie. For starters, you know, they got away with making that first movie. I saw it years ago and I remember looking at it and thinking, well, it's kind of forgettable, but it's okay, I guess. And that was it. I didn't see the first Now You See Me movie thinking to myself, wow, they really got to make more of these. I think that first one came out and I didn't feel like it needed to do any more than it did. Even that first one was kind of a stretch, but it had a decent cast. It had enough things going for it. And it was just, I guess, mindless entertainment. The second one already, I think Isla Fisher that was in the first one, she didn't even come back for that one. So they recasted her with like Lizzie Kaplan or whatever it is. And I think that the second one was even more. I remember seeing them both probably like on HBO or something. I don't think that went to the theater to see either of those. They were very, very forgettable. And not something that I really even like was so excited. It's something that like I think I was like laying on my couch and like I flipped through the channels like HBO and it was on. Do you get
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like I don't
Yeah.
even think
Yeah.
it's a situation that I said I have to clear my schedule to watch this thing. It was more like I'm dozing off on my couch, flipping through the channels, and it's something like a movie that HBO was putting on at the time. That's probably how I saw Now You See Me 1 and 2. Not the kind of thing that I think like franchise material. Sorry. I
Yep. That's right.
I don't know why I'm coughing. Sorry, Professor.
That's all right.
What would Patrick do? Hmm. Okay.
I did the exact same thing at the run of my kids earlier today. They're like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "No, I've got a scratch in my throat. I don't know what happened. I can't."
It's strange because I don't know. I don't know either. But what happened was, is so they had this Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I saw this movie because I have the free pass or whatever it is, so I can see a lot of movies. So I was just out of curiosity because this one beat The Running Man. So I'm like, well, is it any good? I watched it, and I didn't go back to watch the first two to prepare myself for this one. I'm really like, there's only a certain amount of energy I'm willing to put into it, and I watched it, and it was like, I'll give them credit that whoever made the movie at least was really trying to, quote unquote, honor the legacy of the previous installments. Like they brought back all the characters. You could tell that they really cared about like trying to, call back to the previous films. The only thing that kind of made me laugh was is that nobody even remembers those movies or care about them. They're not that kind of like iconic pop cultural thing. So whatever they were making efforts to do were just like they could have not made that effort. I wouldn't have even remembered anything. It's like I feel like it was effort just put in for no reason, or that didn't really interest most people. But the worst part of this movie is that even though like I like the cast and there's something you could do with it, I guess, kind of like a Fast and Furious with magicians, the movie opens up like maybe the first act, there's some kind of heist or something there's something it's a little interesting in the early part of the movie, maybe like the first 30 minutes or you know passable. But as the movie progresses, it becomes just like more dumb and more just like script falls apart. Like I just dumb things are happening all across the board. And as I was watching this movie, I thought to myself, well, this is really dumb and stupid and really kind of going off the rails. But I said, if nothing else, at least it's not woke. And then the funniest thing happened. In the
And
final,
then it
maybe,
went woke.
but the funny thing is that the wokeness, for the most part, it only really happens in maybe the last 10 minutes of the movie, and that's what's funny. Like the whole time, like it's semi. Well, there is a red flag. There is a lady played by I forgot the she was in Gone Girl, not I think called Gone Girl. Rosamund Pike, I think that's the actress.
Yeah.
She plays like a South African heiress to like a diamond guy, like some diamond family. Now that diamond family, they obviously they were bad people because they took advantage. They're white, of course, and they took advantage of people that are not white.
Yes.
It's implied at least. And when I saw that, I thought to myself, is this going to continue to build up to some kind of woke thing at some point? Because, like, the choice of villain, I kind of thought to myself, what are they going with this here? What's the idea here? Now, maybe 10 years ago you would have had that villain, I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. But somehow, like, just because I've watched so many crappy movies with all their agendas over the past 10 years or so, I already kind of felt like this is going to come back in some way, shape, or form. And at the end there's a twist that basically, I don't think I'm ruining it for anybody. I'm sorry. I don't think it's a real ruining of a situation. It doesn't really change the movie. If you're willing to sit through this mind numbing thing for like 90 minutes or whatever it is, what I'm going to say now is not going to really matter anyways. But what it turns out is that this lady who's evil with the diamonds, she actually ended up doing something bad to, African person, if you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying.
Mhm.
There is a diverse person that she did something bad to, and then even like you know, even there's like a comment that's a bit of an istophobic comment going on there, I think, and it's like, listen, I'm not saying that in history there weren't bad people that did stuff with diamonds. I'm not saying that there weren't other people that suffered from this. It's just like maybe I've just seen too many movies in the past several years that keep pushing these kind of agendas at every corner, that at this point, like a movie that seemingly was just escapist nonsense, that they managed to somehow before the buzzer shove a little bit of that in there. And I'm just like, man, I just I feel like a terrible person, Professor, but I kind of I have little energy to hear more, you know, about all this like this stuff again, especially in escapist and mind-numbing entertainment. It's like I'm done with that. Like, do an escapist movie, leave me alone. I don't want to feel like somebody sat in a boardroom and wanted to raise another one of those issues or do whatever. It's just like, shut up, stop with this shit. Every person of every background, has their issues. There's been things in history that have been bad for a lot of different groups of people. It's not just one group. And I think that it's fine if there's movies that focus on that issue. If let's say there's the movie, for example, 12 Years a Slave or whatever it is. That's a movie that is dedicated to discussing a certain issue. And if
Sure.
you go see that movie, you know exactly what it is, you know what you're signing up for, and that's a movie that explains and shows a certain story of a certain person. I think that showing stories like that, it's perfectly fine. There's people that also want to go watch stories like this. It's fine to do movies like this, but to do like a Fast and Furious with magicians and 5 minutes before the end kind of subtly stick that in there, maybe it's not the most like blunt. I've seen worse in movies than what I saw in those last 5 minutes. But you know what, I kind of felt like, man, you already got until this point, why do you need this shit? And it's not like the movie was doing great until that point. Like, it was already like testing my patience until that moment, but that was it. That, like, like, I'll do maybe a review if I get a chance. I don't know, if I don't know if I will. If I don't get a chance to do a review, without that scene, I would have considered, even though wasn't enthusiastic about it, based on the likability of the cast, I may have considered giving it a passing, just barely passing grade. But because of that last 5 minutes, I couldn't give it a passing grade. Like, I can't forgive that. You get points taken off for not for bullshit. And the final thing I'll say is, these days, I think that there's a reverse situation in Africa. There's a lot of situations where actually, like, I would say that the reverse is happening. That maybe, white people in some places aren't being treated nicely. So to try to again bring up, that's why when I looked at him, like, oh, is this to reestablish the narrative of? Do you get what I'm trying to say, Professor?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, in case you forgot, that they want to remind you that there was, like, istophobe people doing istophobia stuff. Nothing personal, istophobe. You know what I mean? Istophobos. So in any case, that's what I thought of the movie. It first act watchable, second act starts going off the rails, third act really dumb, and then ends in like a quote unquote woke twist. I have nothing to say. I think this movie is not going to make back its money at the box office, and I don't think it deserves to either. And it was
Well, all
dumb to
right
begin
then.
with.
All right. Well, yeah. Geez. Yeah. Is there anything good? Do we have anything good left to come out this year, Bryce? I don't think so. I don't think we
No,
have
I don't.
anything left worth seeing. I mean, obviously there are movies coming out. There is the third Avatar film, that
Yeah, I
I'm
guess I'll
sure
watch
will
that.
do plenty of money, but plenty of tickets in the theaters, but just I don't know that there's anything coming that's just like, oh yeah, I need to go see that, right?
Oh, I do have something to tell you that I watched this week. You can chill out. I'll talk about it a
It
little.
it part two. Oh
Yes,
yeah.
it's chapter 2. I meant it's chapter 2.
Yeah,
See, I wanted to start watching that Welcome to Darien. I don't know if it's relevant. I'm like, I never watched that It Part 2, so I watched it. And you know what, Professor? I was rather disappointed with this movie. I was rather disappointed with this movie. It Part 1, I thought that it was like a good mix of these kind of kids. When you have kids there and they're decent actor kids, and there's a little bit of like throwback '80s vibe with the kids because I think it's happening in the '80s or whatever it is. There was something to enjoy from the first movie. I thought that it found a good balance of like being spooky but also having the kids, and it was kind of interesting. Now the second movie. It incorporates flashbacks and certain things with the original cast from the first one, but it also brings like for the adult versions of them, it brings what's Jessica Chastain. It brings James McAvoy, good actors. Not those aren't bad actors. Uh, brings Bill Hader as one of the kids. A few other people. Cast was really done really nicely. I thought that they brought a really good cast to play these kids as adults. Didn't have any issue with that whatsoever. Unfortunately, though, somehow this movie it's so long. It's like it feels like it's almost 3 hours long. It doesn't need to be almost 3 hours long, and I don't know. The movie it just somehow falls flat. It doesn't it doesn't know what it wants. It wants to be a little humorous. It wants to do this. It wants to do that, but somehow it just keeps going on and going on and going on forever. And I never really feel like I was swept in. I was like, I'm really disappointed by this second It movie, and I just wanted to let everybody know that that's how I feel about it. Price of Reason on the scene,
On the scene.
on the scene. But like when I say it, it comes out douchey. I can't emulate his. His is like it's something that I can't recreate like what he does. Uh, in any case, this Ed Part Two I felt didn't deliver. Also, a lot of people were like so excited that Jessica Chastain played the adult version of the kid. Honestly, Amy Adams looked like that kid more. So I also think that the adults maybe they weren't supposed to be as old as they were. I have some questions there, but and of course, the person that directed this was Andy Muschietti. That like we're always told that he's so great. He did okay with the first It movie. I think that if I look at this movie, I'm not as impressed. There were some visual things I liked, but I didn't love the overall pacing in the movie. I also think that The Flash wasn't a good movie. So I
Oh
guess Andy
no.
Muschietti
Oh,
really needs to do more stuff like that's good. Because I'm always told how great he is, but I feel like I don't know. Is he that great? I don't want to be an asshole, but I mean, sorry, Sean, but is he that great?
uh, not from what I can tell.
If anybody saw Now You See Me, Now You Don't, let me know if anybody felt the way I did with the twist at the end. Like you already knew the lady was evil throughout the movie, but at the end they're like, she was evil, but did you know that she was also an istophobe jerk and that she was against people? You know, did you know that she was also that? I can't explain it to you. It's worse. I don't want to ruin the twist, so I'm not saying it, but it really is fucking annoying. Like when I think about it more, it annoys me more and more. Like I just I feel that's the biggest trick. When you talk about magic tricks, the magic trick is you're sitting there for 90 something percent of the movie thinking you're just watching a really stupid, like dumb poorly like written, really dumb and stupid movie that's barely watchable. And then the twist, like the trick, the big magic trick is that they fooled you and it was actually like woke too. But you didn't realize it. You were trying to like and the thing is once we were already getting towards the end, I thought that it already wouldn't be like extremely woke or anything because I'm like, well, there's only 10 minutes left and what are they going to do now? And somehow they managed to squeeze it in there. I don't
Gotta
know. I'm still kind of,
squeeze it in.
don't really know how to explain it to you. But did she hate walnuts? I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means.
Uh,
Uh,
oh, Bingo Hazmat mentions the new Uwe Boll movie. Oh, geez. It's just very watchable. Oh, well, I guess that's a big step up from anything else Uwe Boll has ever made. But jeez.
Well, I feel like we've gone over a lot of
Yeah.
topics today, Professor,
Yeah, I
and,
think I'm gonna throw one more at you, and then we'll call it a night.
no problem, go ahead.
So I wondered, have you seen the screenshots from oh, you'll have to share my screen. You've still got yours up there.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing, and
Yep.
then
Have you seen the screenshots that have been coming for the new live action Legend of Zelda movie? Some of the captures.
I mean, based on this photo, it looks fine to me. I don't
Yeah.
I've seen the screenshots, I don't have any issue with what I've seen.
Yeah. So it seems like they're definitely going to be going sort of the direction of the Breath of the Wild games. I guess that makes sense. Those have been really probably the most culturally relevant, especially in recent years. I'm not particularly
Hey, Adam.
like upset with the looks here. We've got a very feminine looking Zelda.
This
Uh,
I'm comforted by the fact and this guy, he could be Link. I think that's fine. I
yeah.
don't
I wouldn't say particularly masculine looking, but on the same, in the same way, the character as he's been drawn in the games, as he's been
Right,
rendered
it's
in the
not that
games, has
in
never been particularly
no,
masculine. He's a
I have
younger
to be
man.
fair. They never drew him as, like, He-Man,
Yeah.
this kind of rings true to how they drew him. I mean, I hope that his character is written well and all that stuff. Personally, I know everybody likes all that, like, Breath of the Wild and all that stuff, but personally, I really wish that they would have started with, like, the original, just the OG, The Legend of Zelda. I
Yeah.
wish they would have just gone game by game, start off with, like, the first one. I don't know why you need to start off with, like, a later game. Start with the first one.
Yep. They there's a few things about this that I'm still not sure about. Uh that it involves Wes Ball. I don't know. Um some okay films, others that aren't great. Avi Arad is involved in making this, which doesn't make me very happy. He used to have the golden touch. He has not in many years. He's
I
been
mean, back in the
behind.
day, as much as everybody hated him, he did do some decent
He
work,
did.
and
So, but in recent years, not so much. So I don't know. Yeah, I think it's an interesting peek into kind of the design that they're looking for the characters and what they're hoping for here. But I will say, clearly, Zelda is not going to be a damsel in distress. We know that much, and so yeah, it's an interesting look. It has not turned me against this movie yet. I'm still interested to see what it is that they're going to do with it.
I am totally
And
gonna be there opening night, and
yeah,
I'm totally
yeah.
watching
Oh,
this
well,
movie.
I'm gonna be there. I mean, my son is going to insist we're there opening night to watch this. If there's previews for this, he's gonna demand we're at the previews. So, definitely be watching this. But, uh, yeah, so far, you know, uh,
S Sal the
it's
Hamster
not
says,
so
"So,
bad.
Price, when it comes to The Legend of Zelda, there's 3 timelines theory." I don't understand what that means.
Oh, so yeah, so the timelines for the Legend of Zelda games don't really they don't really all work together. Right? And so, there's sort of this idea that, like, history has kind of repeated itself in different times, like, that there's not just one link, there's different links, and there's not just one, Ganon, there's different Ganons. I don't know. There's weird stuff in there. My son, again, huge Legend of Zelda fan, he could tell you some of the details of the different timelines and how they line up and which game happens in which order and whatnot. But I do think, as much as you say, like, yeah, it would be best to kind of start with the original game. I do think it makes sense to go with some of the more recent versions, given that they have more human rendered versions of the characters, versus tiny little pixels. Although those games are still some of the best. I still say, I mean, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, both incredible games. But if you're going to ask me which game I had the most fun with, which game blew me away. Just absolutely blew me away. I'm going back to the Super Nintendo and Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. That an absolute masterpiece of a video game. Uh, love that
I
game
agree.
so much.
Was Link to the which one was the one where you had sort of the nighttime would become like a different dimension?
Yeah, that would kind of be yeah, you would have some of that stuff so in Link to the Past, you sort of jump to a different to like a dark time, and then things are different. It's like the world is the same, but
I love that.
yeah, the world it's like the same map, but like everything's sort of corrupted and
Corrupt
dark
and
and yeah,
spooky. I
yeah,
really like that.
yeah,
I don't know why that left an impression on me. I haven't
yeah.
played that game in a really long time, but I remember really liking that.
Yeah, Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo is an absolute masterpiece. So is Ocarina of Time. I've probably played Ocarina of Time more than I've played the Link to the Past. I've probably only played Link to the Past
I
twice,
like
but
the OG
uh
Zelda the most probably.
the first 3D Link, the Ocarina of Time was
I
incredibly good.
probably I
So
don't even think I was okay with Ocarina of Time. I liked Link to the Past. I liked the first two on on the Nintendo Entertainment System.
yeah,
The first one for me will always be maybe it's a nostalgia thing. From
yeah,
time to time, I actually go back and play that first one. I like it so much. It's such a. I know the graphics today, you could make them better and all that stuff, but there's something I like about that game so much about
yeah,
the original.
yeah.
It's
No, it's
just
a
such a
great it's
fun
an
experience.
absolutely it's a great game. It's a fantastic game. I mean that and the Super Mario Brothers games, they built the NES along with a few other big time titles. But yeah, I absolutely loved the Link to the Past on the NES or Super NES because it's like it sort of took that original formula for that game from the NES and just kind of perfected it. And the graphics and everything just worked really well. The style of it was great. And then they carried that style over to some other games later on. It's this yeah, fantastic. Yep. Well, that was all I really had to mention this
No,
evening.
that was good stuff, man. I'm happy we went over it. It was a good thing that
Yeah.
you brought up.
We
I
can
it kind of
maybe on Thursday we can talk about the game awards. Woo!
Oh yeah, we should do that. Should totally do that. And if you have people that you have a list of
Oh, yes, we do have some people. Let me give you the list. It's a short list for or those that have been joining us over on Rumble, but you can go through that.
I mean, I do see some people there. I guess they're just not active in the chat, but
Yeah.
that's a different story. Some of them are. Empress and M, Elizabeth Quince, Starling Mind, Darren Mai, Folsom Lockdown, Bingo Hazmat, Lyosh, Sal the Hamster.
All right. And I'm trying uh-oh. Oh, come on. My little AI tool locked up on me. Let me try again to get our list from YouTube here. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, tell some jokes.
I'll tell some jokes. Let's see here. Yeah, I noticed, we do now have we've got if you look, we have the little list of people who've joined the chat and the top fans
Thanks,
list
Adam Gray.
if you have the chat open on YouTube, but the problem is that it gives us their names with their little at names, right? It doesn't actually give you their handles. And so
And how
some
do
of
I
them
even
are a
find
real
it? What do I
mess.
do?
But
Top fans, okay.
yeah,
Ah, okay.
yeah.
I
So you
got
see
you.
that there. I've got the list now. It's finally up. But yeah, it gives you those little ats, they're instead of their handles, it gives you their little at names. I don't know what they call
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Let's see. We've got Adam Gray, Badfoot, Caleb Levine, Cindy Palumbo, DJ Play Nice, Darren M. Scipio, David Costin, E. Clay Thomason, Istophobos, James Caserta, Jason Webster, Jonathan Conroy, Keely Chow, Lasher, Marla Sharondoff, Mark S47, Pete Roble, Phantom Outsider, Putin's Cat, Robot Head, Six popped in for a little bit. I didn't see you there, Six. Stephen Mack, The Dead Man, Tim Hayes, Tomahawk 511, Tony Grigo, and Vex Electronica.
Yeah, it was a fun crowd tonight. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, good to see
And
all
yeah,
of you here.
if you haven't yet subscribed and followed and whatever, you should do that. Professor, is there anything you want to plug or talk about before we go?
No. Oh, oh, I see what Adam's saying. Yeah. Okay. So, no, I don't have anything else other than Bryce, you and I'll believe we'll be back with Robot Head on Thursday evening, our time.
At 8 p.m., yes.
8 p.m. Eastern. That's the plan anyway.
That's what it's looking like. Yes.
We'll be talking about a few different things. And then we'll be back here later that evening for the usual for the Night Owl at 11:45 Eastern.
p.m. Eastern. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody. You all have a good night. It was a pleasure hanging out with you all. And we'll see you here on Thursday.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Bye.